Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live!
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host for tonight's festivities. I am Rockin Robbie Bills, station Pop Pop Boom. Super excited to be up in here to chat with you about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We got a great show planned tonight, including Show and Tell. There's also going to be the DC sneak peek. And there's going to be some special bonus surprises that we'll get into a little bit later, but trust me, you're going to be excited. At least I hope you're going to be excited, because I'm excited to share with you something new on the channel for the very, very first time. So what is up? I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a great weekend watching movies, hanging out with people I love, spending time with family and friends, and just enjoying everything, right? Had some great streams over the last week. We're in the midst of March Madness right now, and week one was a slam bang success, right? We had a great show over at Dylan's Horror Show. We talked about The Shining. Then we did The Invisible Man over at PCP Movie Night. Verno kicked us off with Possession. Had a great show on that one. Also did a bonus show today about Suitable Flesh, which is a movie I just watched for the first time the other night. We'll talk about that maybe as we go along if you want to know my thoughts. Also, there was another movie on that. I don't remember what it was because I've not seen that movie, so sorry, Verno. But they're also talking about Suitable Flesh. Manny killed it with his video essay on the duality of good and evil, comparing Metropolis's themes with Hereditary and Exorcist to tie it all together. Really, really great show that Manny did. And then, of course, last night on Dylan's Horror Show, we kick off week 2 of March Madness with a really, really great conversation about Train to Busan. So I've had a great weekend spending it with people I love. I don't know why I kept saying spending it with time, but for the people that I love. Anyway, what's up? Once you get in here in the chat, let's just drop a station, drop a pop, pop, boom. Let us know that you're up in the room. What do you want to talk about? Because even though this show, we got a grandiose plan. Some may even call it extravagant. This show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. Get them in right now. Do find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. You can follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you want to help support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. And we've had some new people join the PCP Patreon over the last week. And I just want to once again tell everybody who's part of our Patreon this. If you want your name listed a certain way, just send me a message on Patreon and let me know. But we really do appreciate the support. Coming soon to our Patreon page will be live movie watch through. So that's my first question for you. When I start doing the live movie watch throughs on Patreon, which is going to be very soon, what movies do you want to see me cover? What movies do you want to watch along with me and have a conversation about? Just homies hanging out, watching movies. Anyway, you can also support the channel with the Super Chat. Super Chats are welcome tonight. That will trigger a Joker video, possibly a Hellboy song, and maybe a little bit of comic book karaoke. If you know what I'm saying, then you know what I'm saying. But we really do appreciate it. I got an Amazon wish list. I'll put it in the chat right now, but it's also pinned up to the top. In particular, this Amazon wish list is mostly Blu-rays that I plan on adding to my collection. Feel free. If you want to send me a gift, that's awesome. You don't have to, though. All the support we need is a like, a share, a subscribe, and joining the conversation. However, there is something very important at the top of that list. It's a from the video store Empire Pictures Arrow video box set that includes Stuart Gordon's Robot Jox. Now, anytime that you send me a movie, it will be covered in some form or fashion on this channel or on another channel at some point in the nearish future, right? Tomorrow night's March Madness is actually something that somebody sent me, right? Like a while ago. So sometimes it takes a while, but we'll get it in there some way or another. However, that Arrow video from the video store, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like this box set that's got a bunch of stuff from Empire Pictures, including Stuart Gordon's dolls, as well as Robot Jox, which is out of print pretty much everywhere else. So I really want to cover Robot Jox here on the channel, and I'm just saying, it's up there if someone wants to help out. There's the Amazon wish list. There you go. Sledhead, I thought that was you that joined the Patreon. You're listed up there with this name. You're at the very tip top, actually, right there. But if you want it, Sledhead, just let me know. Not now, because I won't remember, but just send me a Patreon thing. Now, if you're on patreon.com/PCP, you get access to the weekly comic book review and the weekly pop culture wrap-up available in downloadable audio files, and they drop hours before they drop here on YouTube, including the weekly pop culture wrap-up. You get like on Friday afternoon, right? As soon as I'm done with that video. So you get it well in advance, but the weekly comic book review, it gives you a couple hours ahead of time, but also a very convenient way to just download the audio, listen to it if you want to listen to it as a podcast. Anyway, welcome to the show. We got a great show. We are in the midst of March Madness. So what's coming up this week? Well, tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, join us for The Host. This is a movie that someone gave me, encouraged me to check it out. We have added it to the March Madness lineup. So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, join me and the excitable PCP crew as we talk and review The Host for March Madness. On Wednesday, I believe, Manny's going to be dropping his next video essay, Aliens vs. Demons, reviewing The Sacrament by Peter Milligan. That's his contribution to March Madness. On Wednesday night, a live show over at Blood Splatter Chatter. They're going to be talking about From Beyond, H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond, directed by Stuart Gordon. Love this movie. We did this already on March Madness on PCP Movie Night, but this is a different crew and a different channel, and I cannot wait to hear their thoughts. Then you can join me with Dylan over at Dylan's Horror Show for Saturday night. We're going to be talking about Creep. This will be my first time watching this film. I've never heard of it. It's a little bit of a mockumentary type thing, but that's what we're going to be talking about this week on PCP Movie Night. And the rest of the associated channels connected to March Madness. Tomorrow night, PCP Movie Night, The Host. Sometime this week, probably Wednesday, Aliens vs. Demons, reviewing The Sacrament by Peter Milligan. Blood Splatter Chatter on a Wednesday night with From Beyond. And Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show with Creep. We now pause for station identification. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Like I said, we got a great show planned tonight. There's going to be some secret special bonuses that y'all are going to be getting tonight for being here. And we got the DC sneak peek show and tell and everything. Do forgive me. I am a little stuffy. I got sick. I got baby sick. There was a brand new newborn in my life. And she got me sick. She got me sick as shit. And it's just, it's a mild case of like a cold. But today it's really kind of been affecting me. So I'm a little bit stuffy, a little bit congested, maybe a little bit sniffly. But let's just go ahead and please forgive me for that. So what is up, everybody? How you doing? Look at that. I got a new vaporizer. It's beautiful. It's super cool. I said I want the rainbow one. And they're like, you mean, what's the term? Oh my goodness. Why am I forgetting the term? Like that oil slick cover, it's not effervescent. What the hell's the term? I cannot think of the term right now. I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Someone's going to help me. For sure. Anyway, straight up, welcome to PCP. Welcome to Rockin Robbie Live. Oh, we're going to kick off the show officially with your very own... First five. All right. So we've been going through my Marvel Masterpieces by Joe Jusko collection. Is it Jusko or Jusko? I used to always say Jusko. Now I say Jusko. But I think Jusko sounds better. Joe Jusko, who's going to be at Heroes Con this week or this year. So I guess I can ask him when I'm at Heroes Con. But we've been going through those. We started last week, so we're going through them again. This is card number 11. That is Darkhawk, who is a new addition. That was something they would always try to do, is they would try to push over new characters with these card sets, with like their rookie cards and stuff. But that's a nice little Darkhawk. Then we got Daredevil right there. That's an awesome, awesome card for Daredevil. Then we got Cyclops. And once again, it's not in quite alphabetical order. I don't understand the ordering. The numbers, like there's kind of alphabetical, but then they're not, because it just went from D to S. But that's card 13. It's a pretty dope image of Cyclops, actually. And then we've got Colossus. Look at that. It's a good card. And then we've got Captain Britain. So that's your first five. And out of all five of these cards, my favorite is actually this Daredevil right there. So Daredevil is my favorite for your first five. Let me know which cards you like. Let me know your memories on these Marvel Masterpieces. And that has been your... first five. All right, let's take a look at the chat. See what is up. See who's in. See who's here. See what's going on. What's the damn name for this? It's messing with me, y'all. All right, let's take a look. We got Anissa in the house. Station. Robbie, proud of you, my guy. Great to see you grow. Well, Station, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. It's only because of people like you that there's any growth at all in the PCP Army. The artist formerly known as Jesse Say What is in the house with a Station. Hell yeah, love the channel. Well, we love you, bro. This channel loves you. All right, Sledhead is in the house. Our Ariaga is in the house. Dynamite trying to get me to start singing already. Hello. Is there anybody out there? Just not if you can hear me. Doo-doo. Is there anyone at home? What's up, Road Collecting? What's up, 9-Panel Grid? That's easy, Dick. How you doing, my man? What's up, Swamp Bat? What's up, Chill Out Man? What's up, James? Oh, you found you some shrooms, Chill Out Man. Damn. Save those for Easter for Teen Dog Shades night, brother. What's up, Kenneth? How you doing? Nice to see you here. Dynamite says, so sick of stupid daylight savings time. You know what? it just throws everybody off for like a few days, doesn't it? It really does. And I hate it too. But what I do love about daylight savings time is the fact that right now the sun is going down a lot later than it was yesterday. I do love that. I love having more sunshine, more daylight during the day. I don't like getting off of work and the sun is setting or it's already dark. However, we live in this world. We live with these seasons. It's kind of part of the whole rhythm of nature, and that's what we do, and we vibe with it, man. So it's all right, and it's okay. It may be daylight savings time, but we're going to find a way to make it work because we are the PCP Army, and we don't take shit from nobody, not even a time change. So there you go. We got Two Gun Pedro in the house. Station, pop, pop, boom, pew, pew. Nice to see you here, my man. Such a big supporter out there. 100%. We got James in the house. What is up? Chill Out Man says, Robbie, Verno, thank you guys for redirecting me to my youth. Argento's Jennifer. I remembered first time seeing that with my mom. Well, that's a movie to watch with your mother, I'll tell you that. We got Bobby De La Ghetto in the house. What is up, my man? How you doing? Good to see you here. We got Vengeance asking what's good. What's good is that you're here hanging out with us tonight, so thank you so much. We got Stu from Doctor's Fan Club, who will be joining us tomorrow night for the Host movie review, the Korean film from like 2006 with a giant monster coming around just to wreck some shit. That's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night. We got John in Pensacola Station. How you doing, my man? The nicest chat in the community yet again. Y'all are amazing. Really do appreciate it. Hola, the name changes. How you doing, man? How you doing? I like Pensacola too. I've always been curious why nobody from Pensacola has ever developed a Coca-Cola, or not a Coca-Cola, but a cola company called Pensacola. Maybe it's been done and I don't know. I was in Pensacola once for like a church trip. We went down and helped some kind of church back in middle school age, maybe early high school, and had a good time there. I remember eating at Pizza Hut. Pensacola's super cool. Home of Pensacon. Glenn, what is up? How you doing? What do y'all want to talk about? Get him in right now. Hey, we got producer extraordinaire Jay. What is up? Our producer for our show that we do every Monday night over at the EXP, The Experience. Y'all, I do a show with Dynamite every single Monday night, 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time, and they got some great deals. They got some not so great deals, but for the most part, they got some great deals, but it's a lot of great conversation. I'm there. You should be there. Plus, giveaway. Big giveaway tomorrow night, I believe, on the show, Jay, right? You let me know. Somebody throw out the link. And why is Jay not a mod on this channel? Boom, you're a moderator, brother. Standard. Wow, there's 2 different mods now. Oh, and where's 9-panel grid? 9-panel grid, Easy Dick changed his shit, so boom, you're a moderator now. Boom, there you go. Yeah, Robot Jocks is amazing. Chill Out, man. I love that movie, man. And when I found out that was back in print, I found that out last night on Dylan's Horror Show, and Two Guns like, put it on the show. Like, put it on your wish list, put it on the show. Well, I did. Let's see what happens. I really want it. I really, really fucking want it. I got a car payment coming up this week. I got insurance coming out this week. I got too much coming out this week. I'm afraid it's going to disappear. I'm afraid it's going to disappear. Chill Out Man says, question, if you saw Jennifer in real life, would you take her in? No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would. But here's the thing. She cut him. That cut has a big deal to do with it, right? She kind of like infects him and lures him in. She's almost like a siren type of a figure, mythological siren, right? Kind of like representing that whole kind of thing. It was a great conversation we had with Verno. And then after that, Verno separated the Jennifer movie review, made it tighter, put that up separately as well, and also put out the whole bit where I just go off about Dario Argento. So There's a great bit out on Blood Splatter Chatter right now. Someone please drop a link in the description, or not in the description, but in the chat, to that episode where it's me going off on Argento for like 7 minutes. It's really good. You should watch it after this. Two-Gun Pedro says, hell no. Chill Man's like, Two-Gun, but why? That's being heartless, bro. The wife wouldn't approve. Hell no, because that wife didn't approve either. That wife didn't approve at all. I wouldn't either. She ate her fucking cat. Oh, yeah, you're Bill, I'm sure. I'm sure that's you, brother. If you'd rather it say Sledhead, just let me know. Jay says, that movie scaroused the shit out of me. Weird feelings about Jennifer. Bruh, I agree 100%. Jay, have you seen Pelts? Which is Argento's effort in season 2 of Masters of Horror, starring Meatloaf, about cursed raccoon pelts? I mean, if not, I just sold you on it, right? I mean, Dario Argento starring Meatloaf, and it's a story about cursed raccoon pelts. That's crazy. Bobby says, those robot jocks think they're so cool. Juan is in the house. Station, how you doing, buddy? Bobby says, I recommend The Host. It's a pretty good movie. Yeah, hell yeah. It's going to be on tomorrow night. We're going to be talking about it. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Sorry, the chat dropped down. We got Cardstock in the house. Station, my man, how you doing? I mean, I just did a station like a novice. Station? No, this is Station! Congrats on the newborn. It's not my newborn, but I'm very connected to it, so hell yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that Daredevil's great. Two-Gun loves the Daredevil. Sledhead loves the Daredevil. Bobby says, I got that Darkhawks card signed on the back by Mike Manley because he drew that little picture on the back. Hell yeah. Iridescent. Thank you so much. Look at this iridescent vaporizer that I got. I love it. It's really nice. I like it a lot. My other one started leaking and just started randomly firing on its own. So it like as if the leak wasn't bad enough, I could just get a new tank. Then I'm at work one day just doing some work at work, and then all of a sudden it just starts going off, and I'm like, what the fuck? And it just kept doing it. Like, it would stop and then it would do it again. So something was fucked up with the button. Just buy a new one. Why not? Are we getting a Robbie read along tonight? I don't know. We're gonna see. What's up, Lescard? How are you doing? What's up, neighborhood Merc Station? Save the rest for Easter. A little bit later than it used to be. Broadway is dark tonight. Hey, what's up, Julian? How you doing? Two-Gun says, just get more shrooms for Easter. Man, I would love the idea of doing shrooms while doing a live stream. There ain't no fucking way I would ever do that. Yeah, that would be so stupid. First of all you'd see is this. Wow. They think it's real. Shit like that. That's me on shrooms. R. Ariaga says, I just read The Sickness #1. Such a good book. Have you been reading that one? I already ordered issues 2 through 4. Awesome book. I have not read that one at all. Lonnie Nadler, I think, right? I'm familiar with it, but I haven't read it. Bobby says, why did Kang throw the clock out the window? To see time fly, brother. I've heard that. Come on. Evil Face Bad is in the house. What is up? Bobby says he heard that time flies. There you go. Dynamite says, I went to Tyndall AFB during spring break. Hella fun. All right, all right. We got 62 Lefty Blues in the house. Station. Can you dig it? Hell yeah. Good to see everybody here tonight. Oh, yes, but it's secret. Okay. What's everyone's feelings on the upcoming Blood Hunt? I mean, I've shared these feelings, but I'll go ahead and kick it off. So, y'all let me know, what do y'all think of the upcoming Blood Hunt, which is the latest event for Marvel Comics? First of all, I'm excited that there is a Blade vampire-centric event. I kind of feel, I mean, first of all, we've had these before. There was a Blade vampire-centric X event not too long ago, Curse of the Mutants. It wasn't that very good. It wasn't very good. This one's kind of spearheaded by Jed MacKay, so I have hopes for it. I think Jed MacKay is one of the most solid and consistent mainstream writers at Marvel Comics right now. He's been doing a great job on Moon Knight. He's been doing a solid job on Doctor Strange. His Avengers run, I kind of fell out, though. So I'm wondering, and I keep asking this question, no one's really telling me, is there anything in his Avengers run right now that's setting up Blood Hunt? Because I like what Brian Hill's doing in Blade, but it doesn't feel like we're about to hit that level yet of it leading. So I don't know. Blade may be leaning into this a little bit. Avengers may be building some, or sowing some seeds, I should say, building some foundation for the upcoming Blood Hunt. However, like with most Marvel events, it feels like it's coming out of fucking nowhere. And I get it. That happens sometimes. Like Secret Wars almost kind of came out of nowhere, except in all of those issues, you saw all those heroes get blinked away. And it, like, the way that it was worked into the continuity was really satisfying for Secret Wars back in the day. We're talking like 20 years ago now, 30 years ago. Shit, 30 years ago. 40 years ago. Shit, it's 40 years ago. Y'all just saw me age 20 years before your eyes, y'all. I was like, it's 20 years ago. No, it's 30. No, it's fucking 40. 40 years ago. Anyway, Blood Hunt to me doesn't feel like it's been built up to. Like, for instance, let's compare the upcoming DC event of the summer, Absolute Power. That's been built into for a long time. That feels earned. Blood Hunt doesn't feel earned. What's kicking it off? Even like Civil War, we had stuff that was leaning into it, but at times not as methodical or as well thought out as it seems what DC's doing with Absolute Power. Not saying that Absolute Power is going to be good, or that it's going to be better than Blood Hunt, or that Blood Hunt's going to be bad, or it's going to be better or worse than Absolute Power, but it feels to me like there's nothing building up to this, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, 100%. Jay says no, but now I want to see pelts. Yes, you do. It's good stuff. Thank you for sharing the links, Jay and Two Gun Pedro. John in Pensacola says, we don't have a Pensacola, but we are the birthplace of the Bushwhacker. You talking about the wrestlers? Two Gun says, which Patreon tier do you have to join to be part of your watch party? It's going to be $5 or more. So I think that's follower. Yeah, fan is $1. Follower is $5, I believe. And then there's friend, which is $10. And I think family, which is $25. I think. Could be wrong. But anybody $5 and up a month is going to be able to access the movie watch-alongs. Vengeance says, Dune 2 was such an amazing experience. I agree. I fucking loved Dune 2 so much. I was going to go this morning to go see the One Love movie, the Bob Marley biopic. I had my ticket already and everything. But I woke up too late for that because of the fucking time change. So, yeah. So I would be talking about One Love tonight, but I didn't. But I did watch Suitable Flesh, which is a Joe Lynch film written by Dennis Paoli, and it is a successor, basically, of sorts to the Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft adaptations, of which there are 3. Tonight on Blood Splatter Chatter, they kept talking about 2, but there are 3. There are 3 Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft. There's actually 4. There's actually 4. Suitable Flesh makes the 5th one if you count it as part of this H.P. Lovecraft Gordon series. The first one, of course, Reanimator. Next one, From Beyond. But do not forget Dagon, and do not forget Dreams at the Witch House, which was part of season 1 of Masters of Horror. So I don't know if Verno's watched that one yet, but that's a fucking great Stuart Gordon H.P. Lovecraft adaptation. So that's what this is. Heather Graham, best performance I've ever seen her in. It is my kind of movie. Verno said that on the show today. He was like, this is the kind of movie is right up Robbie's alley. You're 100% right. I gave it an A+, a 5 you digs. The movie is not 5 you dig worthy to most people, but for me it is, because it is wild. It deals with like body swapping. It deals with like gender roles being flipped and shit like that. It's sexy. It's fucking ridiculous. It's gory. It's cheesy. It's funny. It's got a fucking hell of an ending. I loved Suitable Flesh. Got to get that one on Blue. Sledhead says, yeah, love Jed McKay, so I have higher hopes for it. Chesney, what is up? I've been reading the Avengers and nothing has come up about the event that has been set up. All right. It's unfortunate. Chill Out Man says, 40 years ago? Damn, we gotten old, yeah. Yeah. Sledhead says, I feel like they should at least come up around the fall. Two Gun says, 40 people in the chat. Let's hit that like button, everybody. Come on. Come on. Help us out. Vengeance says, Absolute Power has been kind of built up since from around mid-2022. Hopefully Mark Waid hits a home run and makes it all worth it. I hope so, too. I mean, there's been, like, Chip Zdarsky's Batman stuff's been leading into this. The Superman book's been leading into this. Sledhead says, I should have saw Dune 2 today. I didn't even though about that. Didn't even know about that? Is that what you're saying? Two Gun Pedro says, Suitable Flesh is a good movie. I think it's a great movie, brother. Bloody Iris. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. All right, y'all. I've caught up to the chat. Man, that doesn't happen very often. We got 50 people in the chat right now. Come on, y'all. Hit that like button. Help us out here. I can't see my likes. Oh, there it is. I got 35 likes and 51 people in the room. Come on, y'all. PCP Army, we can do better than that. Let's do it. Lorena, what is up? How are you doing? I'm doing good. Just sitting here chilling, talking about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. James just gently massaged the like button. Suitable Flesh was great, though. That movie is, if you like the Stuart Gordon stuff, you need to check that out. Speaking of the Stuart Gordon stuff, I need that Robot Jocks, so it's up there. It's pinned apart. It's pinned at the top of the chat. There's an Amazon wish list. Someone please get that for me. We're also welcoming the super chats. I feel in a sing-songy mood right now. Beastslayer14 says, I'm watching Iron Man right now. The original, Jon Favreau, Iron Man movie. What a great movie. That movie is good. Sometimes with all the hoopla about the MCU, all the expectations that we have of the MCU as a whole now, sometimes it's nice to disconnect from all of that and go back and just watch Iron Man. Just watch Iron Man and realize how good that movie is. And it doesn't need to be connected to anything, right? It doesn't feel like it's got to like build anything. And Iron Man works so well because they stayed true to the character. They made an exciting movie. They had a cool comic accurate costume that was slightly varied at times. So they nailed it. It does have some third act issues, but not as bad as some of the third act issues that we're going to get in the rest of the MCU going forward, in my opinion. So. War God, what is up? Station. Dynamite says, I have Hoosiers on in the background. What a great movie Hoosiers is. Like, a really good movie. There is I'll tell you what, I do like Hoosiers. There is because of watching it in the context of today, there is a racial connotation to that that's kind of uncomfortable for me, just a little bit. But I do like it, and I'm not saying the movie's doing that. I'm just saying, like, in today's kind of mode of thinking, that movie comes across a little odd at certain times as far as racial shit goes. But I do like Hoosiers. Gene Hackman's great in it. Dennis Hopper is fucking fantastic. Hoosiers is a great movie. We need to do more sports movies here on PCP for PCP Movie Night. Maybe we need to have a sports fest or something where we could do a basketball movie, a football movie, a baseball movie, and I guess a hockey movie. I guess that's the fourth biggest sport, but anything else. Maybe the cutting edge. Talking about figure skating. Let's do that. So we could do like Bull Durham, we could do Hoosiers, we could do The Replacements, and we could do Cutting Edge. What a great lineup that would be. Bleeding Cool shook me saying that Ultimate X-Men sold more than Batman last week, but it's true. It did. It did for sure. Batman sales have been dipping, actually. Batman sales are dipping. Spider-Man sales are ticking up, but Ultimate Spider-Man sales are really strong. The Ultimate books have a very strong lineup right now. Now, sell-through on Ultimate X-Men was weaker at my shop. Like Black Panther and Ultimate Spider-Man, all issues so far released, we've sold out day of. That didn't happen with Ultimate X-Men, but at the same time, like I said on this channel, I said it on Blame Fable, I said it on other channels, FOC for Ultimate X-Men #1 was after we were aware as retailers of the hype behind the Ultimate books. So there's probably a significant order increase on that. I know at my shop there was, but it is selling through very well. A lot of people disappointed in it because I think that they were expecting X-Men, and that's not what you're getting. This is a whole new world, and the first issue was focused on armor. It was a very just small personal story about armor. I think what Peach Momoko is going to do with the structure is introduce a new character each issue over the course of the first arc and have them come together at the end. I think that's the approach, and we'll see how it's going to pan out, but it's definitely going to be more of a slow burn than Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate Spider-Man have been. Ultimate Spider-Man's been great. Ultimate Black Panther was solid. Ultimate X-Men to me was solid as well, and I think she's playing with the Shadow King. I think that's what she's doing there. The Ultimates by Dennis Camp comes out in June, as we like to say, 2 syllables in the word June. But that's going to be fucking awesome. Trust me, y'all. Saw Iron Man in the theaters, bounced when the credits rolled. Me too. Like, I saw Iron Man in the theater. Here's what's crazy. When that summer in 2008, my initial thoughts were that Incredible Hulk was a better movie than Iron Man. I have since changed that, but I think it's because I do think Incredible Hulk has a better third act than Iron Man. But as a whole, I do think in hindsight, and now today, and every other time I've watched that movie subsequently, I've liked Iron Man better. But I do still like the Incredible Hulk. Bobby says, I went to Planet Comic-Con this weekend and hung out with Jason Aaron, Doug Monkey, and Chris Claremont, Mark Wade, Amanda Connor, and a slew of others. Great time. Hell yeah, that sounds like a great time. I just met Jason Aaron for the first time in February at MegaCon. Robbie, what's your background? I say Scottish. I'm from Alabama. I'm from Alabama, brother, and that's just me. That's my background. I'm Southern. Southern fried comic book commentator is what I am. However, my family background is Native American and Welsh. Oh, and Mountain Man. So, Mountain Man meets Welsh meets Native American. That's my background. Mystery Alaska and Youngblood were great hockey films too. Miracle is a good one too, but Mystery Alaska is good. The Russell Crowe's in that one. That's a good movie. I worked at the movie theater. Seems like those Ultimate books have been selling crazy. Makes me hope that the DC Ultimate Universe by Scott Snyder is true. I haven't heard a rumor about that at all. Like the idea that Scott Snyder's rebooting the DC Universe or something. That's interesting. DC doesn't need an Ultimate Universe, though. They got Elseworlds. Something Marvel has and doesn't really have. But they need to, because look at the success of something like Avengers Twilight. Avengers Twilight's very successful right now. New issue this week. New issue of Ultimate Black Panther as well this week. Robert Downey Jr. just won Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars station. That's right. The Oscars are going on right now. I forgot about that. My pick is that Oppenheimer's going to sweep it. Best Director, Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, for certain. So nice to know. So keep me updated on what's going on if you are watching the Academy Awards. You ever think of going to Wales? Yeah, I would go to Wales, but honestly, I've never been out of the country. I would love to visit other places. I just never had the opportunity, never had the fundage in my life. But I would love to visit other places. My top places I'd like to visit, I'd like to go to Egypt. I would like to actually go visit Jerusalem. I know that's those two places, it depends on the climate and the time of day. And I mean the climate politically, right? But I've always wanted to go to England, but if I would love to see Wales and Scotland. I would love to do that. I've always wanted to go to Romania. In particular, I want to go see the Castle Dracula. Amsterdam used to be a place I wanted to go to, but there's not so much need to do that anymore. You can just go to Colorado. Yeah, I'd like to. I know my buddy Hammer Time love to go see Japan. I'd like to see Japan too. That'd be nice too. Sledhead says the ending of Avengers Twilight number 3 was awesome. I agree. Across the Spider-Verse is my current favorite, says Sledhead. That will definitely win Best Animated Feature, I think. Oh, Best Animated Feature went with something about a heroine, though. I think that wound up winning the Golden Globe, didn't it? So I haven't seen that one. Honestly, RDJ plays the same role in each movie these days. I don't necessarily super agree with that. In a lot of his movies he does, but I do think that he was stretching a little bit in Oppenheimer. I really liked his performance. Though I do think Florence Pugh was a better supporting performer in that movie, but I may be a little bit biased. Hey, there's Verno Blood Splatter Chatter Station. What's up, my man? How you doing? Sledhead went to Ireland about 5 years ago. Says, so amazing. Hell yeah. Bobby says, I've been to the negative zone, but I prefer the blue area of the moon in the springtime. Hell yeah. Last G said, DC had Elseworlds and Marvel had What If. Yeah, but now their What Ifs are just turning to shit. Hey, BlackBox Comics is in the house, everybody. Go check out Dead Detective and Empath. Out in stores right now. William says Hickman and Checchetto are only signed for 12 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man. That makes sense to me. It does. Unfortunately, it makes sense in this day and age. We'll see what happens, though. A year from now, maybe that is so successful, maybe they can up the page rates and entice them to come back. We'll see. There's still some creator-owned stuff, though, I'd rather see Hickman complete and actually deliver promises on, like Black Monday Murders. That would be cool. Dying in the Dead, I don't think that ever finished. And also Frontier. Where's Frontier? Nobody but me remembers Frontier. Anyway. And Manhattan Projects. Come on. James says Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito are presenting an award. Twins is a classic. I agree. That's a good movie. It's fun. Swamp Bat says Godzilla -1 should have been nominated for Best Picture. I hear that from a lot of people. I have still yet to see Godzilla -1. I missed it. I was super busy during the very last couple months of the of 2023, and I never got a chance to go see that. Which does upset me because I do want to watch it, and I want to watch it very badly. Sledhead says, I hope Gods pans out. I'm liking it so far. I'm liking it enough, but it doesn't feel... I feel like it's going to build up to something big, but we'll see. We'll see. It's 8 issues, by the way. It's going to be the end. Waiting for Godzilla -1 to win an Oscar for visual special effects. Evil Face Bad says, Robbie, are you ready for them to start putting EC comics out again this summer? Hope they eventually bring Tales from the Crypt back out again, and comic book, and maybe even the Vault of Horror. Yeah, I'm very excited to see the EC stuff. I want to see it. Now, I did watch a Cartoonist Kayfabe video in which they were talking about it, and Ed was in particular talking about, like, what's the draw? What's the draw? Because, like, to me, EC is Johnny Craig. EC is Jack Heyman's. EC is Al Feldstein. EC is Graham Ingalls. It's these artists, right? It's the stories were good, right, in the EC days, but it's the art that really is the best part. And what I would say is it's a different industry now, right? It's a way different industry, and the way that things shift and change, I don't think Ed is as plugged into current comics as, say, I am, right? And that's why I don't feel so bad doing the top-down stuff anymore, because I used to feel like I'd just be ripping Ed and Jim off, and I love and respect Ed and Jim so much. I love their work as comic book creators and cartoonists, but I love their work on Cartoonist Kayfabe. And I never wanted to try to feel like I was copying them or anything, but I have a different perspective on comics. I watch their Wizard coverage, and I'm like, no, guys, I was there. But I get it. Everybody's got their aesthetic. Everybody likes the stuff that they're into. But Ed did point out something good, interesting to me about the EC stuff is this going to be what EC was back in the day? Because are they going to be given the reason why EC was EC is because they had incredible page rates. Oni Press isn't going to give that out. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get super solid, top-notch work. Most anthologies and comics today don't quite work. Not the way they used to. Not the way that Tales from the Crypt and Vault of Horror or all that EC stuff did, right? Weird science, weird fantasy, incredible science fiction. I don't know. That's, to me, the biggest problem in comics. And I had a great conversation with Fable on Wednesday night here on the channel. If you missed out the conversation with Fable, check it out. Someone please throw out a link. Absolutely great conversation. Part of that conversation was comics. And to me, it's put the money up front. Have higher page rates. You're going to get better comics, which will give you better ideas to exploit into other media. That's so easy to me. But page rates are paltry and low right now. So we'll see. Dark Horse not too long ago tried to revive Creepy and Eerie, and they were good, but they weren't. I don't know. This whole industry is different now, and the anthology comic, I don't know if the consumers don't want it or if they just don't put enough talent or enough money behind it, but there's something missing, and maybe that's something we can dive back into. But I still have a lot of high hopes for the EC books. Godzilla won Best Visual Effects. That's awesome. The effects artists all brought Godzilla figures with them to the podium. That's super cool. Last G says, Graham Ingalls may be a genius, but I don't really like his drawings. That's okay. He's not my favorite out of those guys at all, but I do enjoy his work. Johnny Craig is probably my favorite. Name Changer says, I'm pumped for the new EC comics. Going to pick it up. Look at the Savage Sword of Conan. It's a blast from the past. Paper quality and storytelling. Yeah, they got to figure out that printing on that. But yeah, that was such a blast. 100%. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens. Now, as far as the names, I don't think they can use Tales from the Crypt or things like that. I think there's a lot of licensing issues going on. That's why I think they have different titles for some of these books. Stu is in the house. I just realized Stu is not a moderator. Boom! You got a blue wrench, brother. You're a moderator, Stu. Thank you. Don't forget, tomorrow night, the host. You were going to fill in for Verno. Verno overscheduled himself. Couldn't join us. Alfred says, Robbie, how can I get a blowtorch in your hands? Talk to me. Send it to me. Anybody sends me something, I'll cover it. That's how it goes. Sends me a physical object in my hand. I'll talk about it. Problem is, artists don't speak up for themselves. Well, they do. Some of them do. And when they do, a lot of people here's what's crazy. Not to put the tinfoil hat on or nothing like this. Okay, but check this out. Jack Kirby's the epitome of this. Didn't speak up for himself. Didn't stand up for himself. Thought that Stan would take care of him. Stan did not take care of Jack Kirby. It's a tragedy. It's a terrible fucking part of our comic book industry. But then artists did take that and start speaking up for themselves. Alan Moore speaks up for himself. Todd McFarlane spoke up for himself. All those Image founders, including Rob Liefeld. Frank Miller speaks up for himself. Now think about this, though. Those top three in particular, Alan Moore, Todd McFarlane, and Rob Liefeld. Those are creators and comic artists that speak up for themselves. And look at how the industry tries to shift the narrative negatively against them. Oh, Alan Moore's a dick because of all the shit he's about Watchmen. Oh, Rob Liefeld's just full of himself. Oh, Todd McFarlane's an egomaniac and wants to dominate everything. Look at how the industry has successfully turned the overall narrative against creators who speak out and up for themselves, who stand up for themselves. I'm just saying. Just saying. Just saying. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, DC Sneak Peek. And we're going to start dropping the special bonus surprises for tonight. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live. Recording.
We're recording.
Hey, gang. Welcome to... What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We've had a great show already talking about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We are going to be doing the DC sneak peek in this bit and maybe even a special sneak peek at something. I got a couple sneak peeks I can do, but it all depends on something. We'll get right into that. But first of all, I want to say this. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel. Follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com, including links to merch. All those links and more in the description down below. Save money at BlackBox Comics. Save money at Dynamic Forces. We got codes. All of that is in the description down below. You can support the channel in a few ways. Number one, I've got an Amazon wish list pinned at the top of the chat. I'm about to drop it in right now. Again, boom. On there, Blu-rays. You buy me a Blu-ray, you send it to me. We're going to cover that in some form or fashion in the nearest future here on Pop Culture Philosophers. Lots of great movies on there, but including from the video store, Arrow Video Empire Pictures box set. It's like $45. There's also a 20% off coupon that's applicable for today. If somebody gets me that, I would be so thankful. And Robot Jocks is in that box set. That's something that we want to do. You can also join us over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. Hit the $5 level and up, and that will gain you access to our upcoming live movie watch-throughs. That's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing it soon. What movie do you want to see me do? Let's see. Like, patrons. I see a few of y'all out there right now. There they are right there. Like, what do y'all want to see? What would you like to see? Anyway, you can also drop a super chat, which will trigger a Hellboy song and another song. You can request a song, or you can just let me pick one, but a little bit of comic book karaoke. And here's the thing. I've got a couple sneak peeks. You're going to get one of them for sure. But are you going to get two? That depends on the super chats. If we hit over $20 in super chats, you're going to get a bonus sneak peek. Now, let me go ahead and break the kayfabe and tell you what I'm talking about. Everybody knows that one of my passions lately has been to do top-down comic book reviews, cartoonist kayfabe style. Other people do it too. Tom Scioli does it. Jim Mafu did it for his own books. Other people do this stuff. They flip through comics, they talk about them. A lot of people have asked me to do it, and I've been wanting to do it. I really been wanting to do it. I filmed my first few this last weekend. Y'all, the PCP Army came together. I got the rig to have my camera looking face down. We're working on it. So these are like tests, but they're also just the first videos, right? Because the way I look at it, this is my philosophy. If you want to do something, fucking start. Even if it's not perfect at first, just start and it will get perfect. You get what I'm saying? So you're gonna get I've done 3 so far. 2 of them are up for grabs tonight. 1 you're already getting. I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the first one that I've done. But if you want the second one, I need to see $20 in super chats. That's what we need to see, because I want to sing the Hellboy song, everybody. But if you don't, we'll see what happens. What just happened to my computer? All right. Anyway. Coming up here at PCP Movie Night, we're in the midst of March Madness. Join us tomorrow night for PCP Movie Night as we talk about The Host, 2006 Korean film. Then we got over at Nerdtastic News, Manny is delivering Aliens vs. Demons, reviewing The Sacrament by Peter Milligan. That's probably dropping on Wednesday, I believe. Wednesday night, Blood Splatter Chatter is having a special live show where they're going to be talking about From Beyond by Stuart Gordon. And then join me and Dylan over at Dylan's Horror Show on Saturday night as we talk about Creep. We now pause for station identification. All right, everybody, don't forget, this is what you're getting tonight. You're going to get the look at one of the first top-down comic flip-throughs that I have recorded. That's going to happen tonight. I'm going to play it for you in its full length. But there's a second one. Can we get some super chats? And we'll see what happens. But now let me take a look at the chat, see what's up with everybody. Alfred, the email is popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. popculturephilosophers@gmail.com. Oppenheimer just won for film editing. Station. Hell yeah. Last G says Wally Wood. Where's the rest of them? I saw that. Wally Wood, Johnny Craig, Harvey Kurtzman. How could I forget about Harvey Kurtzman? He's one of the best in Mad Magazine and all that shit. Y'all, we got a special treat too coming up, man. Tom Richmond, who was an artist for Mad Magazine for 20 years. Mad Magazine now is mostly all just reprints, right? It's all just reprints. And Tom Richmond was the last caricaturist who did the movie parodies. Well, him and his writing partner, I can't remember his name right now, but Tom reached out. He sent me that book Claptrap, which has a bunch of movie parodies in the Mad tradition, in the Mad style. I'm halfway through that, and when I'm done, I'm going top down on that, and I'm going to run you guys through that because that's something you need to get. 100%. You need to get it. Jay says Jay says Blowtorch is dope. Evil Face Bad says anthology comics these days are very hit or miss, like Creepshow. Not every story is amazing. Actually, some stories and art are absolutely trash and turn me off. And that's the thing. When you're paying $5 to get 2 stories and one's okay and the other one's garbage, it doesn't make up for the one issue that you had that you really liked. We really need a good anthology comic. We really need a good anthology comic. We may be talking about an anthology comic tonight. Rob Liefeld hasn't stopped talking about himself. I kid. No, you're not kidding. Rob Liefeld has not stopped talking about himself. Todd did Alan Moore dirty legally? How so? I know that Neil Gaiman had some issues with Todd, but I don't know of any issues that Alan had. I think Alan got paid for all those things. We'll see, though. I don't know. I don't know in particular. Last G says, just being way too old, Michael W. Kaluta on Starstruck. Never read that one, but Kaluta's one of those dudes who I hear a lot, and I've never actually dived into his work. Bernie writes on a Swamp Thing, Station, 100% there. And Howard Chaykin on Blackhawk in the Shadow. I've seen his Shadow and I've seen his Blackhawk, and I just got the Times Squared Omnibus, and that's another one that I want to read and dig through. Can't believe how selfish modern society is. Talk about our, check out our show on DHS last night. We were talking about Train to Busan. We're all fucking selfish fucks. Or at least I am. Not speaking for you. Near Mint does that too, except for omnibuses. Absolutely. I love Omar. Great dude. Great dude. Big supporter of us, man. He's always had nice things to say. I've met him in person, and I've seen him other places. Chill Out Man says, I haven't been asking you to do it, Robbie. I've been begging you to. Good to see some Giallo in your DVD picks. Wow, William, you must have looked at the Amazon wish list. Yeah, Giallo's my shit. I love it. I love Giallo. Like, I love Italian horror in particular, whether it's Giallo or the more gnarly stuff that we get into in the 80s. But yeah, I'm a huge fan. Chill Out Man says, oh, we love Giallo at PCP. Hell yeah. You reviewed Train to Busan. When are you reviewing the sequel? I don't know. I've never seen the sequel. Is it Peninsula or something like that? Like Dylan mentioned it. Like, I'd watch it. I'd watch it and check it out. March Madness is very tight for me right now. I'm doing my best to stay caught up. I got 11 movies to cover for March Madness in total. So I'm very excited to dive into it. Hey, one collection down. My man Fable with the super chat. Station got here just in time. Let's get these top downs going. I really appreciate that, brother. Also, an interesting thing that YouTube does now is it lets me know, like, when you hit certain things. For instance, Fable, that's your 20th super chat to PCP on a live stream. That's fucking awesome. Bruh, thank you so much for the support, man. Hey, yo. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy, and he was sent from the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had a sex with a demon, who was raised by Professor Broom, and now he fights evil and monsters. Yes. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz, and an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. Fable, you got some comic book karaoke coming your way. You got a request. Let me know. You please let me know. Chill Out Man says, I'm on shrooms waiting to watch an Argento film. Bro, I don't know if I would recommend watching an Argento film on shrooms, man. I'm being flat out fucking honest with you, bro. Like, do not watch an Argento film on shrooms, man. I beg of you. And if you do, let me know how that goes. That seems like a bad idea, brother. Last G says, since I really like your weekly updates, I think that you talking about comics and reviewing a comic that way would be great. Sorry I can't afford a super chat. Last G, super chats, we appreciate them, but all we need is you being here. You're participating in the conversation, man. That's the number one thing you can do. That's the most appreciated. Thank you so much. Hey, what? Hey, there's Tom. Desmond Devlin is the fucking writer. Tom is here. Oh my God. So that's Tom Richmond right there. That's the dude I was talking about. Longtime mad artist. Send me that Claptrap book. Bruh, I'm halfway through it. I am loving it. I am loving it. Goodfellas really cracked me up. Your Goodfellas pick, like that shit was awesome. I'm really digging it. I'm really liking it. You're making me want to go and buy some Mad comics from the 80s, by the way, and just watch some shit. I was at the grocery store today and I saw there was a Mad magazine, like Star Wars parodies and other sci-fi thing. I almost picked it up because of reading Claptrap. I'm halfway through. When I'm done, bruh, I'm going top down, letting people see it, and I'm going to be talking about it. So thank you so much. Dude, everybody put up a station for Tom and Desmond. Desmond also is a long-time writer at Mad. It sucks. Mad Magazine should not just be reprints. And I think that's shitty that it is. And I don't know. I don't know all the business sides of things and sales and all that shit. But it's when I found out that Mad went to just like reprints, it really did hurt me. It did. Fuck, Tom really does watch the channel. I always feel put on the spot when somebody's like, oh. Silver Coin's a great one, Ariag, as far as anthology horror books go. 100%. Fable, if you want a certain song, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to go 311. Tomorrow's 311 day. He's dropping his first video tomorrow morning? You telling me that Easy Dick is dropping his first video tomorrow morning? Come on. Get out of here. I'm excited. Is he doing top down? Fucking shit. There's also a prequel to Train to Busan. Wow. Ah, shit. Sledhead is here with another super chat. Station PCP Army, can we get a Rambo? You want a Rambo? All right, let's see what we can do. Can't make promises, but we'll see what we can do. All right? Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Rambo. He's not the Rambo that you know. He's from the NES, so not the video. He had a very confusing game. Let me tell you what, I don't never understand what to do. You're running around, and they're like, you got to get to this one particular fucking pixel and press up. What? It doesn't make any intuitive sense. Fuck that NES Rambo game. That game's a piece of shit. He thinks that he's fighting the giant Rambo. He can't stop it because the one's coming around to drop it off. Onslaught. Sledhead, you got a request. You got the Rambo, sorry. I love that it does look like Rambo's just trying to like pick it, like just stab this like giant Hellboy in the fucking shoulder. It's dope. DVD cover says Train to Busan presents Peninsula. Yeah, Peninsula. The sequel, apparently there's a prequel. Yeah, think about it, Fable. Don't wait too long. Hey, there's Missing Link. What is up, bro? I sent you a message on IG. Don't forget, you signed up for the host tomorrow night. Ariel. Oh, you want to go outside? You want to go out? You want out? Little Ariel? My cat wants out. I'll be right back. Come on. Come on. There you go. Yeah. All right, we're back. Cat, you know, when the cat wants to get out, you gotta let the cat out. What's up? I was wearing pants today, proper pants though, so I felt comfortable not like doing the station thing, so I could just go. Anyway, what's up? All right, chat just dropped down. Hold on, let me get back up there. Yo, everybody giving Tom a station. Look at all the love, Tom. Y'all, save your money. I guess stop super chatting if you need to, because when I drop that video on Claptrap, y'all are going to want to check it out. And Tom, if you're still here, like, I really got to thank you. I'm a huge James Bond fan, and you sent me like your little print of all the different actors who have played Bond, and you signed it for me. Thank you so much. That means a lot, bruh. Nine Panel Grid says, nah, I'll do bottom up videos. I like that, man. No top down, bottom up. Let's do it. God, NES games were so hard. Yeah, they fucking... That one in particular, you don't know what to fucking do in that Rambo game. And then we were with, what's his name? He did the book, The Edge, I believe. I was on a few streams, and one of the streams I was talking about that damn game. He was like, oh, I know how to beat it. I put up a walkthrough. What the fuck, dude? You know how to beat Rambo on NES? Get the fuck out of here. That's ridiculous. You know, like on the Sega, I understand. Like, what's the first Sega? It's the Mega Drive? Like, or is Genesis the Mega Drive? Master System's Mega Drive? Whatever, that first Sega system, there's a Rambo game. That one I can get. That you can get through that game. But the fucking NES one, get the fuck out of here. Bird is the word. Was Onslaught the first Marvel crossover with digital colors? I don't know, War God. That's something I'd have to look into. Right before Onslaught, would have been like Age of Apocalypse. No, Age of Apocalypse had, right? Like Age of Apocalypse had computer coloring for sure. So maybe that one. Steph is ready for the host. Hell yeah, brother. Very excited to have you on. We're going to have a great panel for that one. It's my first time watching. Is the 12 issues Fables maxi series completed? I'm not sure. A new one just is coming out this week, but I don't know the issue number. Tom's feeling it. Jokos, what is up? Station. Well, we got 10 out of the $20 in super chats to give you 2 early sneak peeks at my top-down, bottoms-up movie review, Sega Master System. There you go. Sledhead, don't even get me started on Friday the 13th, man. I fucking sent Brooks a bunch of videos one time. We drew out a map. We thought we would be able to beat it. That fucking game pisses me off. I watched so many videos. I know so many strategies of how we're supposed to beat that game, but I can't fucking do it. I want to beat that game so bad. Ugh. Hamburger basket. I would like to buy a hamburger. Oh, Tom, thank you so much. I'm telling you, I'm not even fucking bullshitting you, man. I'm loving your work on Claptrack. It makes me feel bad for not reading Mad Magazine before everything, man. I love it. I cannot wait to let the rest of everybody see what's going on. And I won't go through it like super slowly. So I'll go through it a little bit speedily so that they have to buy it. I wish they brought back 4-color printing on special occasions. Oh, that'd be good. Fable says, Ghosts and Goblins always made me rage quit. Hell yeah. I haven't gotten any like Sledhead, Fable. Y'all have special requests. You better get them in right now. What's going on? Y'all don't want to hear anything. Y'all don't want to hear me sing. Well, 9-panel grid, Easy Dick wants to hear me sing Wouldn't Feel Right without that second preview. How about some Clash for a song? Ooh, fuck yeah. Thank you, Easy Dick. We're having fun now, yeah, everybody. Fable, you requested. Throw it out again, please. Throw it out again, please, Fable. This is for Easy Dick. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had a sex with a demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit! Now he fights with the man with the fish named A. The man with the fish? What? And now he fights with a fire starter named Quiz and an ectoplasmic mess named PPRD. All right, Lash. I appreciate your support. So real quick, for Lash, I'll do this. I'm lost in the supermarket. I can no longer shop happily. I'm working out on a special offer. A guaranteed personality. That's for you, but this is for E. Z-Dick. Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. You get it? You alright? Boom, ba-dum-dum-dum, ba-dum-dum-dum. London calling to the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down. London calling to the underworld. Come out of the cupboard, you boys and girls. London calling, now don't look to us. Phony Beatlemania has bitten the dust. London calling, see we ain't got that swing except for the ring of the Trungian thing. The ice age is coming, the sun is zooming in. A meltdown expected, the wheat is growing thin. Engines stop running, but I have no fear, 'cause London is drowning and I live by the river. London calling to the imitation zone. Forget it, brother, you can go it alone. London calling to the zombies of death. Quit holding out and draw another breath. London calling, and I don't want to shout, but while we were talking, I saw you looking out. London calling, see we ain't got no high, except for that one with the yellowy eye. The ice age is coming, the sun is zooming in. Meltdown expected, the wheat is growing thin. A nuclear error, but I have no fear, 'cause London is growing. I live by the river. I fucked up some of those lyrics. I did. Now get this. London calling. Yes, I was there too. And you know what they said? Well, some of it was true. London calling at the top of the dial. And after all this, oh, won't you give me a smile? London calling. London calling. Do, do, do. And I never felt so like singing the blues. Boom! London calling, The Clash. There you go. There you go. You can still request a song, Sledhead. What'd you say? What'd you say? Hellboy hanging in there. Yeah, he needs to. Fable wants to hear Invincible. So let me make sure I get the lyrics pulled up so I don't fuck up like I did. We will be invincible. That was like, that's one of the official PCP songs, by the way. All right, I promise we're going to get to the Live by the River. I fucking love that song. All right. Here's a little Pat Benatar for your ass. This bloody road remains a mystery. This is an official PCP song, by the way. This sudden darkness fills the air. What are we waiting for? Won't anybody help us? What are we waiting for? We can afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. This shattered dream you cannot justify. We're gonna scream until we're satisfied. What are we running for? We've got the right to be angry. What are we running for when there's nowhere we can run to anymore? We can afford to be innocent. Stand up and face the enemy. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. And with the power of conviction, there is no sacrifice. It's a do or die situation. We will be invincible. Fuck yeah. There you go, Fable. Whatever 311 song I want, boom. All right. Getting caught up on these super chats. Running out of breath. This was a bad idea. I live by the river. You cray, Robbie. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is. It's from Billie Jean, bro. The Invincible song. Hell yeah. I freaking love you, Robbie. I freaking love Billie Jean. Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Fable. I've always wanted to do that one karaoke in real life, but that's way too high for me. I'm sorry I have to subject y'all to it. That's the energy, Robbie. It's Oliver Twist all over again. We got Billy Power Max in the house. What's up? All right, here's the 311 for Sledhead. Then we're going to go into the DC sneak peek, and we have unlocked both sneak peeks tonight. For my top-down, bottoms-up reviews. I like the way that sounds. All right, this is a 311 song called Hydroponic. Hold on a second. I got to do something real quick. Mother Nature supreme, step back and dream. The hydroponics scene found around, knocked out of bounds, wound into the mind of my stone cloud. Taste the thinnest of oxygen. Rising higher a stoner, cause I can groove something. Reckon nothing to what? Rising high, cause I can groove something. Reckon higher to prove that's what's it. It's in my nature. So fresh the vital. I fucked this up. So fresh, so vital, the bud of the chronic taste of something thicker. Everything I eat is from the earth, right? I am what I eat, straight up earth, right? And nothing but a walking sack of earth. Nice to meet you, how do you do? Guess what? Yeah, you're one too. My skin moves me in, my brain moves me then. Boom! I jump straight off the speaker in a form of celebration that we're moving. Freely disconnected, I'm truly grateful. I'm going back to the earth. I'm not gonna waste life being hateful. Boom, boom, na na na. Kingdom coming through ya. Na na na. Ba-na-na-na-na-na, ba-na-na. Kingdom coming through ya. Ma-na-na, boom. Jumping out my skin, jumping out my skin. The skin I'm in, the skin I'm in. And the hydroponics on. Did it because we wanna. Toke up until it's gone. An abstract notion here to connect me to the ocean. Cause I'm water and carbon and not much else. I feel compunction, conjunction, junction. What's your function? I'll be hooking up verbs and nouns and phrases and clauses as to the causes of misery. Quizzically I look to my own for hooked on the fathom. The solar systems and atoms in the larger molecule. From the galaxy cool, the Milky Way is where I stay. Then I actually don't know the rest of that. So I'll just go, jumping out my skin, the skin I'm in, and the hydroponics on. That was all right. I could have done better. And we got another super chat from Larry Moore. Man, real shit. You might not think your show helps people, but it does. Round of chemo was a bitch today. Damn, Larry, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Wife said, what can help you relax? I said, it's my guy Rockin Robbie is on tonight. It would help. Brother. Damn, dude. Larry, I fucking love you. Station. Fucking love and good vibes and positivity. And dude, I hope everything goes fucking well. We are here with you, brother. Thank you so much. This is for you, Larry. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nun who had a sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. And now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Eddie. Now he fights with the fire starter named Liz. And an ectoplasmic mess named Larry, we love you, man. Take care. Said I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in. Yeah. And I don't know if I've ever been really loved by a hand that's touched me, and I feel like something's gonna give. I'm a little bit angry, well, this ain't over. No, not here. Not while I still need you around. You don't owe me, yeah, we might change, yeah. Yeah, we just might feel good. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I will. I saw somebody mention Ryan Gosling and Barbie in the Oscars, so it got me thinking of this. This is for you, Larry. I hope you remember this one fondly. If not, I'll do another one. Said, I don't know why you ever would lie to me. Like I'm a little untrusting when I think that the truth is gonna hurt ya. And I don't know why you couldn't just stay with me. You couldn't stand to be near me, and my face don't seem to wanna shine. And it's a little bit dirty. Well, this ain't easy. Well, nice things to me. 'Cause I've been cheated, I've been wronged. You don't know me well, I can't change. Well, I won't do anything at all. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I wanna take you, well, I will, oh, hey, All right. Love you, Larry. All right, now it's time. Believe it or not, DC's got books out this week. I read them. I'm going to let you know what I think here on your DC Sneak Peek. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. DC books are pretty lackluster this week. Honestly, I was very excited to read pretty much every single one of these, and they did not hold up. So this is going to be a lackluster DC sneak peek. Let's start with Suicide Squad Dream Team issue number 1. On the Road. The countdown to absolute power, taking me back to the Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis days where we had books like Countdown and 52 leading into things. No, but this one didn't work. So it's Amanda Waller. She's got a new Suicide Squad team. She's got a mission and a plan for them. It's really focused and on the character of Dreamer. Cool enough character, but nothing in this book made me care, made me feel enticed. It didn't come across as interesting, didn't come across as super necessary, and didn't come across as anything worth reading. So Suicide Squad Dream Team was just really not that good for me. Sinister Sons issue number 2. I liked it enough. It was okay, but it didn't continue the momentum from issue number 1. It was all right, but the biggest problem was the art. The art in this issue was a step down. There are 2 artists credited. Now, I don't remember if there were 2 artists on the last one, but it feels very empty, if you know what I'm saying. There's just a lot of emptiness in the backgrounds, a lot of just kind of phoning it in for me on the artwork that didn't really quite work for me. And Sinister Sons issue number 1 had a charm and a lightness to it that I appreciated. This one in the writing and story still has that, but it doesn't necessarily work for me artistically. All right, then we got Red Hood The Hill issue number 2. I remember being slightly confused by issue number 1 and thinking I need to go back and reread The Hill number 0, which is all the backup stories from Batman. I didn't do that. And I'm even more lost in issue number 2. I like Sanford Green's artwork. I do. I like Sean Martinborough as a creator. But this one did not do much for me. Y'all know I've been singing the praises of Outsiders by Kelly and Lansing. I've been loving this book, a spiritual successor to Planetary, firmly launched and implanted in the DC universe. I've been loving it. The last issue of this, introducing the character of Ginny Crisis, I thought was brilliant. I've loved this book. Not this issue. This issue did not work for me. I was confused. I was vibing along with it, but for the most part, I felt like this was just a big dud in the midst of what's been a really good series. Now we can have a little bit more positivity here. Wesley Dodd's Sandman issue number 6, a very satisfying conclusion to the Sandman. I enjoyed this book, a golden age, pulp-inspired, noir-infused tale about war, pacifism, and the necessity of violence. All those themes wrapped up together. This was a really good, solid finale that I did enjoy. Wesley Dodd's Sandman, issue number 6. My favorite DC book of the week might be Green Lantern, issue number 9. Jeremy Lewis has been doing a great job with this title, keeping it fresh, but keeping it still feeling like we're moving the mythology of the Green Lanterns ahead. Why is Hal able to have a lantern when he's been kicked out of the Corps by the United Planets? Why are there so many, in particular, Earth-based lanterns? All those questions kind of get answered here by Jeremy Lewis in superb fashion. Hermonico's artwork is really solid, really interesting, cool stuff, building on the mythology of Green Lantern. This is starting to give me a little bit of the tinge of the vibes of early Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. And it really took some boiling and cooking for Jeff Johns' Green Lantern to become what it is known for. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. Really good ideas being played with in the mythology of the Green Lantern there. Batman and Robin number 7, loved this issue. Joshua Williamson has been killing it. We got Simone DeMeo back on the artwork. Really cool stuff. Flatline is back in the picture. Her first introductions to her boyfriend's daddy, Batman. Really charming, really cool. Joshua Williamson knows these characters. He knows Damian. He knows Bruce. He knows Flatline. And he knows how to make it all work together. I have loved this book so much. It might be one of my favorite Batman titles. There's a bunch of Batman titles, but I think I like this better than the Zdarsky run. Not quite as much as the Ram V run, but I do enjoy this, and it's some great character work on Damian, and I love seeing the return of Flatline. Then we get Action Comics here with issue 1063. This is the end of the I, Bizarro story by Jason Aaron, and I do feel a lot let down. I thought that the promise and the impact that was delivered in the first issue was really solid. The second issue, and it's only a 3-issue story, the second issue lost me a little bit, and 3 did not pull it back together. So it's a decent enough conclusion to this story, but it's like so many other Superman stories I've seen where there are big moments and big impact that all get underdone or undone and underwritten. So it just didn't really quite work for me, and I feel bad because I loved that first issue of Jason Aaron's Action Comics, and he only had 3 issues, and I don't think it quite delivered on the promise that was set in issue number 1. So to recap, Batman and Robin was fantastic. Really liked that. Glad to see DeMeo back on the artwork. The Sandman, Wesley Dodds, issue number 6, a great finale to a book that's been really solid. Green Lantern number 9, building on the lore and the mythos of the Green Lantern Corps and outside of that, and it's starting to give me early vibes of the early Jeff Johns run. Outsiders was a big dud for me this week, as was Red Hood, The Hill. Sinister Sons had a lack of energy in the artwork, and it really hindered it. Suicide Squad Dream Team, skip it. I don't know how essential this is going to be to Absolute Power. Probably not. But I was severely disappointed in Action Comics. So, some good stuff, mostly bad. DC, it's not going to be their week. Anyway, that's been your DC sneak peek. All right. Original score goes to Oppenheimer. Boom! I picked that one. That's awesome. I used to be really good at all the Academy Award picks and shit like that. I may have said Dick Butt, did I? What would it take to get a live vid of karaoke with Robbie? Well, it'd take a good internet connection at my karaoke bar, but yeah, 100%. I would love to do something like that. How about $10 more in Super Chats? I'm just kidding. I'm not. All right. Here we go. You asked for it. Here we go. All right, so y'all know we don't need to build this up any more than it's already been built up. I've been wanting to do top-down comic book flip-throughs. Best original song, Barbie. I Am Ken? Was it I Am Ken? I need to know. I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. I hope that won Best Original Song. I hope so. I fucking hope so. Gotta be I'm Just Kidding. Yeah. What was I made for? Really? The Billie Eilish song? Fuck the Academy. God damn. Are you serious? I'm sorry. I like that Barbie movie. I'm Just Kidding's the best fucking song in that movie. Billie Eilish? She ain't got enough awards and shit. Oh, she didn't win for the James Bond fucking song, so she got to win this time? Fuck that. That's stupid. Billie Eilish is hot, though. Anyway, moving on. Best thing about Barbie was Ken. I agree. I really do, man. I love the movie, but Ken was the shit. I'm just Ken. Anywhere else I'd be an Academy Award fucking winner. But no, we got to give it to Billie Eilish, which is fine. I like Billie Eilish. Like I said, I really love her No Time to Die theme, which is better than this song in my opinion, but whatever. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. I'm kind of disappointed. Don't get me wrong, the song's gorgeous, but Ken's an all-time banger. I agree, Verno. All right, top down, comic book flip-throughs. I filmed my first one. I promised you. Y'all get the first view tonight. Here it is. Here it is. I hope you like it. It's a little long, but I hope you like it. I really do. And I'm going to be watching it live along with you. And let me know what you think, y'all, because I'm very nervous. I almost don't want to hit the button. Fuck it, we're doing it. Station, do it. Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're taking a look at Marvel Comics Presents #1. Hey, what's up everybody? Super excited to be here to look at this comic book. Now, I've been wanting to do these top-down flip-throughs in comics for a while. Finally got the rig. Thank you, PCP Army, for all the support. We got the rig. We're going to do it. And I figured what better place to start than Marvel Comics Presents #1. I just picked this up just a few weeks ago. I was planning on covering this for Marvel in the 80s, but I decided let's let this be the first thing that I crack open. It's a #1. It's my first time reading it. It's the first time I've owned it. I don't have any of the other ones. I have few sporadic issues here and there, but man, I'm really excited to dive into this. Now, first of all, it's got a great wraparound cover. That's from Walt Simonson. Really cool. I just noticed this is a newsstand edition. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's not too bad. But this is Marvel Comics Presents. It ran from it was 85 to 95, something like that. It was 170 something issues. When I was young, what I really remember about it was issue number 100, which had a Sam Keith, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine story. I remember it being a Wolverine and a Ghost Rider-centric book, but in the early days, it was meant to have 4 different short stories. I think they're all 8 pages or something, and some of them would be continuing, some of them would just be short, one-and-done, self-contained stories. This one, though, it's got a really cool lineup. It's got the start of the Wolverine solo stuff by Chris Claremont, John Buscema. It's got a Master Kung Fu story, a Man-Thing story, and a Silver Surfer. But let's take a look at this cover real quick. This cover is amazing. First of all, Walt Simonson, I love his composition here, and when you look at it as just a main cover, and this was a conversation we were having at my shop, it's a weird composition, right? But when you add into the fact that there's the wraparound cover, it makes it even better. Actually, it was on my experience show that I do with Rex and them from Dynamite. That's where we were talking about it. But what a cool cover. I love Walt Simonson's Man-Thing right there, the line work in there. You can almost be forgiven if you miss out on Silver Surfer being in here, but it works. Those are some big giant fins on Wolverine, but you know what? It doesn't matter. So let's crack this open. All right, first thing we see is the credits. Wolverine, written by Chris Claremont, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Klaus Janson, lettering by Tom Orzechowski, Glynis Oliver on the coloring. That's a top-notch team. Very excited to dive into that one. Man-Thing, Elements of Terror. This is from Doug Minch with Tom Greinberg on the artwork, Dave Cockrum on the inking. That's really, really freaking cool. Master of Kung Fu, Steve Gerber, and Tom Sutton on the penciling and the inking. And Al Milgrom basically doing almost all of it with Greg Wright on the colors, Jim Novak on the lettering for the Silver Surfer. So he's writing and he's penciling and he's inking. So let's get into the book. I love this first page. It's John Buscema doing Wolverine in that brown costume that I absolutely love. Look at that amazing coloring. One of the things that I love about this era of the 80s and the coloring is that they knew how these colors would reproduce on newsprint. And so they intentionally oversaturated those colors so that they knew, because they knew it would go into that paper, right? So you get these amazing effects like this bluish purple right there, and the way that blue kind of pops against it. I love this aesthetic. Lots of purples, lots of blues. You're going to see that throughout this book. You're going to see that in a lot of Marvel Comics from the late 80s, early 90s. You see the use of magenta, lavender, these lighter pale blues. Absolutely cool. So this is a book that's mostly going to deal with Logan as Logan, right? Not as Wolverine. So it's nice to get that awesome shot. And the inking done by Klaus Janson on that astounds me. I love the sunset back there. It's awesome. Then we get introduced to the island nation of Madripoor. Right? Madripoor is this island nation off the coast of Singapore. Most X-Men fans know that. This is the first appearance, I believe, of Madripoor. I do think so. It's definitely the first appearance of the Princess Bar. But in this double-page spread, which is massive, it's expansive, it looks so good. Once again, look at that, the bluish purple. Look at that lighter blue. John Buscema's doing a great job, along with Klaus Janson, showing us the dichotomy of this city, that there's this very sophisticated, sleek, and modern take to it, but there's also this like very rough and tumble and poor side to it. And through the narration, Wolverine's explaining this, and you see it in action. You see the wealthy people running around the streets, the cars, the lights, the shimmer, the shine, but you see the criminal element kind of relegated to the background. Here it's in the foreground, but I actually like that. It's almost like it's telling us visually that the seedier stuff that's normally hidden away, and yes, this is hidden as far as the amount of space given to this panel, but it's actually more in the foreground. Like, this is more of a nasty place than the fake allure would have you believe. Look at these crazy cool marks down here for the reflections in this grimy, slimy, wet street. Klaus Janson probably just using some white media in there that is being colored. It's awesome. There's first appearance of the Princess Bar. Wolverine's going to the Princess Bar to meet this dude for some reason. He's meeting this dude. I can't even remember his name right now. I'm sure we'll find it out. Where is it? O'Donnell. He's looking for O'Donnell right there. So there's O'Donnell. He's getting the crap kicked out of him by these dudes. Wolverine shows up, and he's not happy about that because he wants to speak to O'Donnell. And he's like, yo, chum, is this a private party? Or can anyone join in? And he's like, you should have stayed outside. He comes right at him. Wolverine takes out one dude. The other dudes come at him. One dude goes right out the window. Great visual storytelling. We don't need to see the moment of impact like we did here. We just saw impact here. Now all we need here is to see their intention and the result. That is absolutely fantastic stuff. Another guy comes after Wolverine with some nunchucks. To no avail. He gets taken out. The guy comes at Wolverine with a sword. Wolverine karate chops the sword. That's badass. Just karate chops the sword, punches him. The other guy tries to shoot. Wolverine dodges out of the way. He hits his own dude. And in the midst of all this, Chris Claremont's really doing a great job of introducing us to Wolverine. Not just displaying his powers, but telling us about him. You know, the cuts are small. They heal almost immediately. That's the main aspect of my mutant power. A healing factor. And it actually never feels too verbose or overclouded. Now, Tom Orzechowski is a really great letterer. And Chris Claremont worked with some of the greatest other creators aside. You know, he's the writer. Of course, he worked with some great artists, but he worked with amazing colorists and letterers who really helped his words come to life on the page. Tom Orzechowski is one of the best ones. A lot of people will know him from that entire Claremont run pretty much, as well as Spawn. So that's cool stuff. So Wolverine is picking up his hat. There's one more left. He's got this chick. He's like, you beg, maybe I'll let you live. Come here, mister. And this is one of the most hardcore cold moments I've ever read from Wolverine. He's like, go ahead, pull the trigger, but after you do, bub, then you're mine. And you just see the moments slow up and the fear come into this dude. He just runs away. Straight up runs away. And I'm loving what Klaus Jansson's doing with John Buscema's pencils. Klaus Jansson has this like textured style of inking. He's one of my absolute favorite inkers out there in the industry. I've just been talking about him on Punisher Warzone, his work on John Romita Jr. He might be my favorite JR inker. He might be one of my favorite inkers in comics, period, right? Because even seeing him work over John Buscema never loses that identity, but you can tell that it is Klaus Jansson. There's thin lines that seem to be just effortlessly put on the page, but they convey so much. There is texture through those lines, there's thick lines, there's rough edges, there's things that it's so deceptively simple looking with Klaus Jansson's inking. I love it. All right, so now McDonald is like, yo, you know, let's hook this dude up. Thank you for saving my life. Thank you for coming in. Whatever you want, you let me know. This chick comes in. She's like, well, if you ever feel lonely, I'm Sapphire. And Wolverine's like, she's fishing for a name, but I don't get it. O'Donnell's like, yo, what brings you to Madripoor? And he goes, hey, Dave Chappell sent me to find the tiger. And then all of a sudden, this dude just goes, that's real interesting, stranger, considering Dave Chappell is dead. Everybody pulls a gun on Wolverine. To be continued. And what I really love is this story is called The Good Guy. And then it goes, next issue, The Bad Guy. So a nice, like, clever, fun, tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. This is really good. This is a great introduction to the character of Wolverine, to the world of Madripoor, and it's a great setup for a short story that's going to be serialized over a few issues. On the strength of this story alone, I think this book is worth it. But then we move on to this Man-Thing story, which is done by Tom Greinberg on the artwork, Doug Minch on the writing, Augustin Moss on the lettering, and Petra Scotzi, probably messed that up on the lettering and coloring. Not familiar with their work. Tom Greinberg, I thought I've seen his work before, but I looked him up and I thought he was like on Sandman or something like that. But this is obviously kind of a take on Swamp Thing. Like, right before this time is when Alan Moore's really doing his great run on Swamp Thing with Steve Bissette and other artists that are just killing it, right? So you get that kind of a style here in this Man-Thing story. I have only ever read Man-Thing comics when he, like, appears in somebody else's book, right? Or there was this Man-Thing Werewolf by Night one-shot from, like, the late 90s, I think, that Paul Jenkins did. I have that. I've read that. So I have very limited knowledge of Man-Thing pre any of this kind of stuff, like his 70s run. I've never read any of that stuff. I just know that fear burns at the touch of the Man-Thing or something, and it's kind of like Swamp Thing, but a little bit different. And so here he is, he's being disturbed, and one of the things I get from this story, Element of Terror, is that he can sense fear. Moon Knight, Man-Thing can sense fear, and that fear, like, is grating to him, and he has to do whatever it takes to stop it. So he feels this fear, and it causes him to rise from the swamp. Great piece of art. This looks straight out of Vertigo, like 10 years later, or even the Swamp Thing stuff at the time. The coloring, too. Look at the use of the pink, the magenta. It works. The blues, the pinks, the purples, the greens. Like, I know some people think that that's gaudy, but the way it soaks into this newsprint, the way it's aged over time, it works. And this is a really gnarled out, just fleshy, pieced together kind of jagged, gnarly dude. And he's all like pink and magenta, but it works. It's so cool. And he's like feeling so much fear because it feels like he's being eaten alive. Man-Thing comes across him. He just wants a conclusion to the pain that he's experiencing. So he puts this poor dude out of his misery, just crushes him. Then these other dudes, they show up. They're looking for this guy. Turns out he's like an experiment, right? They find him. He's dead. They're like, well, let's get the implant out of him because we don't want it to be traced. When this dude picks up this giant dick-looking thing right there, he gets stung and he burns at it. Really great stuff. The coloring, so much detail, so much, I don't want to keep using the word texture, but it's a dense detail that really makes you feel claustrophobic and jagged and terror. So I really do like that vibe. Look at this composition. This is something straight out of an Alan Moore, Steve Bissette Swamp Thing, right? But they go back to their place. These dudes show up. they're like apparently who they're working for. There is this mystery being built up of what's actually happening. Then they start mentioning senators and all this kind of stuff. So there's something going on. They got a giant case of cocaine. But the Man-Thing is feeling the fear off of these dudes. And so he follows these guys. Look at this. Look at all of these little pieces of ink right there. It just so freaking works. It's so dense, but it's not detailed just for detail's sake. It actually has a purpose. It actually has a reason, and it's to provide that claustrophobic vibe, but also something really gnarly and gritty, right? So while they're in, so they get some, I don't know, they get some like commands or whatever from the dudes in charge. They're like, hey, we're gonna go report back that this thing like burns you when you touched it. So then this one dude's like admitting that he still does all the cocaine, and then this other gnarly monster dude shows up. They start freaking out. Man-Thing can't handle it. He busts out. Now they're like, there's two of these damn monsters. Man-Thing's just trying to get this anguish that he's experiencing from their fear that he's taking. He's just trying to end it. But this other gnarled monster touches him, and it burns Man-Thing. And he's never felt a pain like this, is what it says, right? So they both fall into the water. The dudes sail off. This dude gets chunked straight out of the water onto the little bay dock thing there. And the Man-Thing, the victor, but it looks like he's been affected by whatever has infected this gnarled up, poor, sad individual right there. So that was a really cool story, and not really knowing too much about Man-Thing, that instantaneously gets me to want to come back and read issue number 2. Now we're going to a Steve Gerber and Tom Sutton Master of Kung Fu book. Another admission here. I've never read any of the 70s Masters of Kung Fu stuff. So this story I felt a little bit lost in. It didn't do it like so the Man-Thing story and the Wolverine story. Obviously I know who these characters are, and I know who Shang-Chi is, or Shang-Chi as some people call him now. I know who these characters are. Wolverine I know a lot in detail. Man-Thing I didn't so much, but I really picked up a good vibe from the Man-Thing and who he is and what makes a Man-Thing story in this issue. Wolverine, if you didn't know, did a great job of just bringing you up to speed on the character and the world now, the new world that Claremont's building around him with Madripoor and the Princess Bar and all that stuff. You feel a little bit lost here in the Master of Kung Fu story, but there's all this, so all of the narration is Shang-Chi talking to himself or to us, presumably, and it's this whole thing about water and fish. You know, he's like, for a mind as blank as an unstirred pool, all knowledge of the world and its ways can be learned from the example of fish. Fish eat, fish swim. Fish make other fish, fish are eaten. So it's talking about like this cyclical pattern of life and the ups and downs, the seasonal turn of life, if you will, right? So you don't really know at first, but that's Shang-Chi coming back to Hong Kong after some time away. Wonderful colors here. Really cool little effect here too, by the way, of seeing the two panels that get broken up by the plane flying by. That's really interesting right there. But he goes around, I don't know what's going on with the plane. There's explosions and stuff. I don't really know what the hell's going on here. Is this referencing something from the past of Master of Kung Fu? Is this referencing something that's happening at the time that this was being written? I don't know. But he feels that he's being followed, so he goes to a flop house, and he pretends to be asleep, luring and setting up bait so that these dudes come in, and man, look at that color. Like, I'm telling you what, purple and blue, like all the colors in my house are usually set to purple and blue at night, and it's because like I love that color combination. So this whole issue has me, even though this story didn't really satisfy me as much maybe as the previous two. Like the art does. Tom Sutton's a pretty decent artist. I'm not super familiar with his work, but it's good and it's capable, and I guess it's trying to kind of replicate the Paul Galassi stuff, maybe a little bit. I need to be a little bit more familiar, though, till I can more adequately speak to that. But he's setting the trap. They go in, they take the trap. He gets up, just some kung fu fighting. Everybody was kung fu fighting. It's decent, it's cool. I like the use of the open space right there to keep it from being too rigid and too confined. You know, a lot of people, who's the editor-in-chief at this time? Is this post? Yeah, this is post-shooter, so this is Tom DeFalco. Maybe we are loosening up a little bit. Tom DeFalco did allow some of the artists to be a little bit more loose and free with some of their stuff. But at the same time, Jim Shooter allowed people like Frank Miller to experiment, but not as much as they would have. The Jim Shooter era is a very strong era for Marvel, but artistically speaking, it does... A lot of that art is kind of confined and simple and basic, but you also had really talented artists that could work within those parameters. But it's nice to see a little bit of variation. So all between these different stories, everything is different. You know, John Buscema doing like classic composition, a more interesting Vertigo-esque approach right here, definitely inspired by Swamp Thing. It's got to be, right? Really cool panels that break apart, that aren't just super like rigid and structured. And then here you got more vertical panels showing you a little bit more of that action. Really sexy figure right there coming out of the pool. So he fights off these dudes. He goes to this place. It's a name he recognizes. He's like, is it the same assassin organization that I'm part of? It's about his father. His father's presumed dead at this time. His father's not the Mandarin, by the way. It's a different dude in the comics. In the movie, of course, it's the Mandarin, but that's a whole other vibe and a whole other thing. This is Liko. He knows her. I don't know her. They go and swim together. They're about to probably get it on, but then they're interrupted by these dudes. This guy seems like he's a little bit of a racist. And I don't know, he's like, you know, it's time for Games of Deceit and Death Part 2. And he's like, Tar, this dude hasn't changed. I'm returning. I have gone back. In returning, I have gone back. But sometimes, if a spirit is to rise and advance any farther, it must first fail. So I feel like Steve Gerber's trying to do that kind of like Bruce Lee, like philosophy kind of thing. But it just didn't completely grab me because I kind of felt lost. I don't know who Tar is. I don't know who Liko is. And this didn't give me enough to make me want to come back for the next issue. But luckily for this, the previous two stories did. Now we got a Silver Surfer story by Al Milgrom. I'm a fan of Al Milgrom. I know a lot of people call him as kind of just average, but I really do enjoy his work. I really liked his work on the Wolverine and Kitty Pryde miniseries. I got to get those original issues. I think I have some of them. So this is Silver Surfer book, all done by Al Milgrom. We start off with this dude who's like this space creature who can exist in the vacuum of space, and he's eating the iron out of this asteroid, right? So that's what's going on. And then all of a sudden he gets this thing where he feels fear and he just drops dead. And then there's this little insect, bug, centipede, millipede thing coming out. It's called the Fear Eater. So he seeks out these beings, I guess out in space, and tries to somehow pique their fear and then feed off of it. And right here, he's complaining about how it's going to take parsecs before he can find another world, and that the only fear, since this one creature can survive the vacuum of space and doesn't have any predators, the only fear he has is fear of death. So it was a paltry meal and won't even be enough to sustain him until he can go parsecs away to get the next nourishment, right? But then here comes in flying the Silver Surfer. Love the two panels that are actually one big splash page, but breaking up the action there and the reading the reading flow. So right here, Silver Surfer. Look at the colors here. And Al Milgrom, I do believe, did he color this himself too? Oh no, Greg Wright colored this one. Greg Wright's a great colorist. We just been seeing his work on the Punisher Warzone and Marvel in the 90s. But I love all the different colors of space right there. The use of the white media to do all the dots, and just that's something that you get in that Silver Surfer book that eventually, like, it doesn't spring forth from that, but eventually Silver Surfer gets his ongoing book. And like Ron Lim, for instance, does a lot of work there. And this is a trick that they use where they just put a lot of white media on that black background, and it gives you this really dense, like, star field. So he's running around, he sees this dude dead on the asteroid. He's like, that's crazy. What could possess such power to kill this dude? And then this little Fear Eater mind thing latches on psychically to Silver Surfer. We get a quick update on his origin, just a little bit. His origin is spread throughout, so if you didn't know Silver Surfer, by the end of this story, you will kind of know or get the gist of him. And that was really something cool when I was a kid, was being able to read these books with characters that I didn't really have a lot of familiarity with, that would actually give me a good sense of who these characters were and what they represented and how one of their stories were structured and what I could expect from them. And it would entice me to read more of that character, right? So he's getting... This dude's like, well, this guy's so powerful, I don't know if he can have any fear, but he realizes he's got the fear of being confined, the time when he was confined to Earth. So here's the part that really kind of bothered me narratively. So he's like, Oh, I sense it, a deep abiding terror of being imprisoned. Good, then. I can use my power to transport this Silver Surfer to the site of his most recent incarceration, Earth. Because there was a time after the coming of Galactus where, to penalize Silver Surfer for betraying him, Galactus confined Silver Surfer to Earth, and it was a way that you could have that Silver Surfer book and adventures in Earth space and have it make sense. But here's the thing. This dude literally just on 2 pages ago said, "Foolish, it will be untold parsecs before I can even find another life form to nourish me." But you can instantaneously just travel anywhere. I guess maybe he needed a connection to Silver Surfer and Earth, and he was out in the cold of space. Maybe, I don't know. But apparently this dude's got teleportation powers, but he's holding back. Anyway, so all of a sudden, Silver Surfer starts freaking out. He's like, no, I can't be confined again. Never again. He breaks right through it. He just breaks right through it because he's that powerful. Then he finds out, oh, what if he lost his power? So then he puts him in this contraption. And I guess this Fear Eater, he's not... At first, I thought that this was all like an illusion. He thought he was at Earth. No, you find out at the end of the story, he's actually on Earth, which is wild. What are the power sets? What's the power set of this Fear Eater? And it just seems like for everything he's actually able to do, he transports this dude to Earth. He comes up with a device that's leeching his power away, and that's a really cool reference to like Doctor Doom stealing his power and other characters trying to steal the cosmic power from Silver Surfer, but it doesn't work. He just busts right out of it. He's like, man, whatever. Last thing I can do, let's take away his power. Let's make him Norrin Rad again. So he's Norrin Rad. He's like freaking out. He thinks he's going to die in space. He's hugging a surfboard. Look at the wonderful color there, right? And he's just there, but then he starts realizing, hey, I still got my surfboard. My surfboard's still here. That means I still got my power. This little Fear Eater, and one interesting thing is we stay so far away from this Fear Eater, and throughout this story, we keep getting closer and closer to him. We start seeing more and more of him, but he's like, oh my goodness, if he realizes that he's got his board, he's going to realize he still has the power cosmic, and boom, he does. Right there, boom, he gets the power cosmic back. The feedback's too much. No, he can't remain. Power's too great. The Fear Eater leaves. And then Silver Surfer's like, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I sense that it's over. And so he's got a big smile on his face, and he's just going away. Farewell, planet Earth. But the Fear Eater is right there at planet Earth. The end? Question mark? I don't know if this dude ever returned. Never returned in anything that I've seen. I really liked this book. So, by far, my favorite story is the Wolverine story. John Buscema and Klaus Janson, plus Glynis Oliver and Tom Warzakowski. Come on. But Chris Claremont, I think one of the reasons why his X-Men run was so successful, and I've noticed this reading through some of his stuff from the 80s in particular, he did such a great job of having you be reintroduced or introduced for the first time to characters, to places, to ideas, to events and concepts, and he was very new reader friendly, and I think that that was the power of Claremont, was being able to jump into any issue of his X-Men run during the 80s and just be able to follow along and understand who these people are. Artistically, it's great. The Man-Thing story was awesome. The Master of Kung Fu story, to me, was interesting. It had good art, but it just didn't quite win me over. This Man-Thing story, though, I was really surprised by that one, but when I flipped it open and saw that artwork, I really liked it. But the Master Kung Fu story was cool, and the Silver Surfer story, it's a little doofy, but I did enjoy it, and I'm glad that this wasn't a continuing story. But great creators with some really solid characters that at the time weren't highlighted or focused on a lot back then. So, Marvel Comics Presents #1, I would give this, out of a 5 you dig rating scale, I'd give this a good solid 4.5 you dig. Seriously, 3 out of the 4 stories were really solid. One was not quite as good, but there were elements about everything that I really enjoyed. The only sad thing is, I don't have issue 2. So I'm going to have to try to find an issue #2 and then a 3, because I want to keep doing this. I want to go, and of course, this is the Wolverine story that leads into the ongoing series by Claremont and Buscema at first there too. But man, what a cool stuff. That's what most people remember from this, is the Wolverine story. But do not sleep on that Man-Thing story. And the other 2 are nice little backups. But for the time, for the price, at the time, this was a bi-monthly comic, or a bi-weekly comic every other week. Such a cool book, such a cool cover. Glad to talk about it here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for paying attention. What are your recollections of this book? Do you got issue 2? Do you got an extra one? Can you hook a brother up? Anyway, thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Station. All right, so that's it. That's the first one I filmed, and it was going to be tonight's Marvel in the 80s, but instead I decided to go ahead and just do that video and share it with you. But we're about to give you the second one that I did, and I know a lot of... Thank you. I saw all the comments. I really appreciate it. By the way, Ghost Christopher Nolan, that's awesome. What movie did Emma Stone win for? What was she in this year that she went for? What's up, Ouroboros? I appreciate the comments. We're about to show you the next one. But we're going to take a quick break first. We're going to be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live.
I so hope this part doesn't go in the video where I'm just standing here staring forwards. That'd be so embarrassing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back here to Pop Culture Philosophers. In particular, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live, here for the final act of the show tonight. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We already had a great show tonight. Talked about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. Answered your questions. We had a lot of great conversations. The Oscars are going on right now, and Oppenheimer just won Best Film. Thank you so much for keeping us up to date, William. Oppenheimer for the win. Yo! I love it. That was fucking awesome. I'm glad that song took your high to another level. Chill out, man. Follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you want to help support the channel financially, you can do so at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there, or with the Super Chat. We've had fun Super Chats tonight. A lot of singing, lots of fun. Man, I'm so happy for Christopher Nolan. I really am. We gave a sneak peek tonight, by the way, of my first top-down video. They will get better, trust me. There were some nice comments there, but they will get better. And we're about to be showing you another one. So we'll see what happens. But coming up here on the channel this week, we're in the midst of March Madness. So join us tomorrow night for PCP Movie Night, 8 p.m. Central Time, as we talk about The Host, Korean film from 2006. Manny is going to be hitting us from Nerdtastic News with another great video essay this week called Aliens vs. Demons, reviewing The Sacrament by Peter Milligan. Blood Splatter Chatter goes live on Wednesday night to talk about H.P. Lovecraft's From Beyond by way of Stuart Gordon. Love that film. And join me and the crew over at Dylan's Horror Show as we talk about Creep on Saturday night. We now pause for station identification. Do not forget that I am really begging somebody to buy me this thing at the top of my Amazon wish list, which is an Arrow video box set of a bunch of Empire films, which includes Robot Jocks. And anything that's bought from this wish list, which I just dropped in the chat yet again, but it is also pinned at the top. Anybody who buys anything from me for that movie will be reviewed. And of course, you'll get the special shout out. All right. Appreciate the love from Marvel Comics Presents. It's easy to get love when you're trying something new. It's easy to get love when you're talking about something that people like. Like, for instance, Marvel Comics Presents #1. But what if you do something that most people don't quite dig? And you know, one of the reasons why I want to do these top-down videos is it's the spirit of Marvel in the 90s. It's the spirit of Image in the 90s. It's the spirit of DC in the 80s. That's it. Like, just fuck the decade. Just go through comics. So I've done 3 of these videos. One is a comic from the 80s. That was Marvel Comics Presents. I did one from the 90s, and I did one from last year. But y'all want to dive back into the 90s? Here you go. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the support. Here's the next one we're doing. By popular demand. Here we go. Let me know what you think. I'm here watching live with you. Please comment. Let me know what you think. I was nervous as fuck, by the way, doing these videos at first. So they will get better. They will get better. Fable, I'm still sending you my copy of Robot Jocks that I have in Spanish. Don't think I've forgotten about that. But anyway, yeah, the dream of the 90s is alive at PCP. Let's go back. How far back in time to Image in the 90s? Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to talk about Prophet #1 from Extreme Studios. That's right, everybody. Thanks for checking out the video. We're going to be talking about Prophet #1, obviously from Extreme Studios. This is a character created by Rob Liefeld. He first appeared in Youngblood #2. Now, in Image in the 90s, over on Rockin Robbie Live, we have covered the entirety of Youngblood Volume 1, including the first appearance of Prophet. Maybe one day we can dust it back off and go through it. But I, in particular, wanted to collect the entire first run of Prophet because of the eventual Stephen Platt work. But, of course, the first artist was Dan Panosian. Now, this must have been early in his career. I didn't know who Dan Panosian was at the time. In fact, I didn't read this book when it first released. I read this book for the first time like a year ago, right? I decided I wanted to dive into the works and the continuity, basically, of Rob Liefeld. I wanted to see what it was about Rob Liefeld's work back in the 90s that made it stand out, that made it work, that made it sell millions of comics. This dude was selling comics like crazy and probably would have sold more if more of them would have come out. All right, but we're going to kick it off with a look at Prophet. This is, I believe, penciled by Rob Liefeld, inked by Dan Panosian. You see the Panosianisms, you see the Liefeldisms, and you got Kiko on the coloring. And at this time, Kiko was like one of the premier digital colorists. This was very new at the time, digital coloring. He was one of the premier colorists to work digitally, and he pretty much only worked for Rob Liefeld. The dude got a lot of money to color Rob Liefeld. But let's crack this one open. It's got a date in here of October 1993. Prophet in Prophecy, created, written, and layouts by Rob Liefeld, pencils and inks by Dan Panosian, Brian Tallman on the colors, color separations by a whole bunch of people from Extreme Colors. Rob Liefeld really invested in digital coloring and those computer techniques back in those days, and they kind of paid off because at the time, it was kind of revolutionary, and it was a way different thing than most of us were used to seeing. Led to some of the success, I'm sure. Kurt Hathaway on the lettering. The editor, Eric Stevenson, who we'll know as the publisher currently of Image Comics. We get a nice little recap page letting you know what came before, basically telling you that Prophet was found by Youngblood. He was cut off from his DOC, his DOCC, the Direct Orbiting Command Center. This young dude left this group, or this old dude left the group of the Berserkers. His name is Kirby, so this is a character that's modeled after Jack Kirby. But once again, in 1993, just even having this like Photoshoppy texture back there was kind of revolutionary and blew a lot of us away. And then you open this up, and holy cow, there's a lot going on with this digital coloring. Look at all the molding, all the shaping that's being done in these clouds. That wasn't seen back in these days. Marvel Comics wasn't like this. DC Comics certainly wasn't like this. But Image Comics was, and it wasn't quite there yet. But I'll be honest, I think some of that digital coloring in this issue of Prophet is okay. Mostly in the first bit here. #1, color theory works no matter how shoddy the coloring actually is. Like the actual execution of the coloring, but the choices, the yellow in the backgrounds, the purples in the foregrounds, the orange and the red right there, it pops. It makes these foreground characters distinguish themselves from the background, and it actually has a really cool visual style and sense to it. Now, this is laid out by Rob Liefeld. One of the things that I think Rob Liefeld soars at is dynamic layouts, dynamic composition, energy. His characters break panel walls. They're all over the place, but there's also, because of that energy, or I should say, as a for the energy, we sacrifice consistency sometimes. So it's nice to see Dan Panosian coming in. These are obviously Dan Panosian lines and works. Big, thick hatching marks that a lot of the dudes back in the day, I remember people all the time picking all the Extreme and Image books apart and talking about how it just didn't make any kind of sense. Like, technically, it wasn't technically sound. But at the same time, you can make a comic that's technically sound that's boring as hell. You can also make a comic that's not technically sound that's exciting. And to be honest, I think, even as an adult man reading this book, I think this is a very exciting comic. But it starts off, there's Prophet, cool hood, cool first page. We move in, there's the ship with all these robots coming out. They're here to fight Prophet. Prophet's got these cool, like, jagged swords. Pay attention to those because it gets a little bit inconsistent what swords he has and what he doesn't. So he's got these jagged swords here, and then these robots come in, and we get this giant centerfold type spread right here. I used to be so annoyed by this for a while in my life, but also at the same time back in the day, I loved stuff like this. And throughout all of this is just a bunch of Bible quotes. So Rob Liefeld is the scripter here, and it's all just Bible quotes. And like literally starting with like one of the most popular Bible quotes ever from Psalm 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. The Lord my God is with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Blah, 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 all that stuff. But he is Prophet. He is a Christian-themed hero, but it's not a Christian-themed book. It is an extreme book. But here's where I start seeing the inconsistencies. So he's got his two jagged swords. He chops one of these robots in two. There's a jagged sword just off in the air there. And then he's got one of their swords. They have these swords that are not jagged. He's got one jagged sword. This one's no longer in his hand. He's got that one in his hand. Did we miss something? Is there something that takes place between this panel where he's got both of his jagged swords, they got their swords, and then to this big double-page side splash? Like, are we missing something here? I feel like we're missing something here. But anyway, more Bible quotes, big explosive action, and I don't care. There's a lot of stuff that's not sound, technically, about this drawing, but at the same time, it's badass. I mean, that's what you want. This, of course, is on a glossier paper, so those colors don't sink in as much. And in the beginning, the colors work for me, right? When there's more of a contrast between them. But as we get closer in, it starts getting a little bit more muddy. But man, the sense of motion and energy here as he's beheading that robot. I really love that bend in that figure. I love this page right here, splitting this dude right into two and dividing this panel down here. Tom Scioli did this in the Prophet 30th anniversary remake that they did, which is really cool to check out. And if you want, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely dig out my copy of it, and we can go through that. Really love this vertical stuff right here. I love this look. That's a very Rob Liefeld face right there, but with the Panosian ticks. But he's basically just taken out all of these dudes. He's done with the Bible quotes. He's like, those passages race through my head, giving me confidence, giving me strength. And he's continuing to fight. Now we're starting to see more of the dangers of the digital coloring and where this path is going to develop and where it's going to lead. More orange, more brown, more kind of just getting in the way of each other and not being as clearly defined as it is in these first couple pages. Like, look at the difference. That is visually striking. This starts to get just a little bit more muddy, a little bit more just kind of generic, right? But at the same time, maybe there's more passion and energy in these first pages, and then when they realize they're getting closer to a deadline, because all of these books were like notoriously late, notoriously behind on deadlines and stuff like that. So he's trying to get up to the ship. He's talking and he's describing his life. He's describing the fact that his father was a preacher and he learned everything from his dad. His dad, though, was killed by Hitler's forces during World War II. So you get a little bit of that backstory. He talks about his dad inspires him for a cause, not for money, not for power, but for the cause, to combat evil in all of its forms. Now, a book like Prophet is a huge influence on the book I'm working with my buddy Kevin on, which is Amortex. Like, there's a lot of prophetisms in Amortex, but hopefully maybe just a little bit more clean. So the art is already starting to get a little bit weaker here, but it still has that sense of motion, that sense of movement. I like this ladder motif and effect right there. And then we cut to him getting into this place, and he's talking about Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Hitler, Graves, Darkthorn. Those are image villains right there. All lieutenants in the war against light. I enter not knowing the countenance of the latest lieutenant I face. I really like that line for some reason. I enter not knowing the countenance of the latest lieutenant I face. And then, good Lord, no. And then we get another one. There's like 3 of these, I think, in here. And he sees this chick, Mary, and then another Bible quote from John, but behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is on the table. And he's like, Mary, no, how can it be? How can she see my face? Can she see my face? The pain that I am feeling, the betrayal, the hurt. So he's like freaking out because who's Mary? I have no idea. Maybe we'll find out who's this dude. We have no idea. But he reveals his hood, and it's Prophet himself. My God, no. And I really do love this. This is very much, you can see the Rob Liefeld layout in that one 100%. And then he snaps out of it and awakens. He's in a dream. So there's Kirby, modeled, of course, after Jack Kirby. He's a small little dude. He's trying to help Prophet out. But now you're seeing, though, what I'm talking about with the coloring. They're adding in some of those magentas, the red, but it's the color gradients and the way it's shaping. It's not quite working right. And it's almost working against the line work, if that makes sense. So I don't know, there's elements of the coloring I do like this sky right here, and even the sun, I really like that. But then down here, it just kind of it's just not working. But Kirby's doing a little bit more exposition, being like, hey man, you're just having a dream, don't worry about it. He goes, well, don't worry, it was the same dream. He's like, it's just because you need to be hooked up to your satellite. That's Kirby's answer to everything right now. Hook back up to your satellite, get your powers, and the dreams will stop. And he goes, but Mary was in it this time. I love this bit. He's like, well, that's more like it, kiddo. Girls are a common thread in my dreams. It was nothing like that. She was against me. She was mocking me. Still got the Prophet number 0, like coupon in there with a cool little foil embossed 0 right there. I don't have a Prophet number 0. I wonder if I can still send these in. First shipment will go out 60 days after the final orders are received. All right, so they're talking more about, yes, they have to storm a military installation in order to reconnect him with this satellite that's going to give him power. So that's a Kirby idea right there, right? That's an OMAC idea. He was powered by a satellite, OMAC, the one-man Army Corps. So they're talking about this, and then we get a little bit more of a background on Prophet. We didn't get too much background on Prophet. Prophet was found by Youngblood. He's kind of like a Captain America type thing, a designed super soldier who was in a suspended animation for decades and then found later on by Youngblood. And we get that whole recap right here. The coloring gets a little bit more generic, a little bit more bland, but your typical kind of thing. We also get used to the idea that Kirby was introduced to Prophet because he was the lab assistant of Dr. Wells, who was the person behind the Prophet program. Also, there's a mystery being built up of what was Dr. Wells doing, who was paying for these experiments, what was the ultimate purpose. Those are some real bad eyes right here, y'all. I'm not going to lie. As much as I can love some of this stuff here, this dude looks like an alien. That dude looks like an alien hybrid, and it's creeping me out. And then once again, hatching that has no purpose. Not really. That's not real hatching. Like, what is that? I don't care. They're marks, they're ticks, and they work for me. Then you get a really cool panel like this. Look at all that. Ready for it? Grit and texture on the cigar smoke and all that stuff. Really cool, right? But now I do like that somehow, apparently, this dude becomes this dude. But I guess that's what war and 90s comics will do for you. I really do like this panel right here. And then they're talking about, there's this group called the Disciples that Prophet has been prophesized that he's going to have to go up against. And Kirby's like, yeah, well, the problem is you're 50 years too early. Youngblood shouldn't have woken you up. And then you also get the sense and the idea that they have left Youngblood, and Youngblood's not necessarily happy about that, right? Youngblood wanted to study Prophet, or the core, or the government who runs Youngblood, right? They wanted to study Prophet, find out what happened, but they've gone off to reconnect this dude, and the way to do it is to go into a military installation, and now we got Prophet in full battle gear. They're about to go take everything on, and then we cut to an interlude. We're in Washington. This dude's talking about Prophet, how we lost Prophet. We want to study his altered genetic structure. And so we got somebody who's coming in to help us out. And no surprise at all, because this should have been on a page turn, but it's not. There's Mary McCormack from the FBI. She's going to lead the investigation with the assistance of Youngblood and Bloodstrike to find Prophet. So I'm assuming this is the Mary that we're talking about. What's her connection to Prophet's past? How is she there? What's going on? I don't know. Maybe we shall see. All right, so Kirby and Prophet, they get to they're in Anchorage, Alaska, to the Gate Research Center, and that's where they have to go to break into this installation to relink Prophet with this satellite dock, which is the source of his powers. Very Kirby idea. That's cool. And then, boom, they get caught. Guards show up. And right before this, there's a really nice moment where he's like, you got any suggestions before we make our move? No, Kirby. I have prayed to the Lord for strength and wisdom regarding this matter. If you would like, I would pray with you. Sorry, kid. Praying's not my style. I'm too, halt. Boom. And this is where it ends, to be continued. And he says, it would appear the enemy is upon us, Kirby. I don't know why that's my Prophet voice from now on. It would appear the enemy is upon us, Kirby. You know, John Boy, that prayer stuff might not be such a bad idea after all. To be continued back here in 6 weeks. Then we got some little pinups. We got a letter from Rob Liefeld right there talking about this book, how important it is to him. This is Victor Bridges and Dan Panosian. I don't know who did this one, but I like it. But it seems familiar to me, almost like a Matsuda or something like that, but I'm not 100% sure. Look at that giant ass weapon right there. I love that. I think it's really cool. That's a cool design. So anyway, that's Prophet number 1. Silly book? Yes. Good book? No. Fun book? Yes. Would I recommend it? I would only recommend this book if, like, here's the thing, y'all. There ain't nothing wrong with enjoying books like Dan Panosian and Rob Liefeld's Prophet number 1. There's nothing wrong with that. I can look at this book and be like, this isn't good. I can also look at Jean-Claude Van Damme's entire body of work and be like, these are not necessarily good movies, but I enjoy them. That's what Prophet is. Prophet is like Cobra. Prophet is like Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Prophet is like one of those ridiculous canon films from the 80s that is so cheesy and so bad and so poorly executed at times that it's just awesome. And in a thought, that's what Extreme Studios is to me, and that's why I'm excited to do even more Prophet. You want to see issue number 2? Well, the more you clamor for it, the sooner it's going to come. So let us know what you think of Prophet. What do you think about the Extreme Studios days? What do you think about Rob Liefeld, Dan Panosian, and everything? Image is very important to comics. This is a very different image than the image we have today, but this image paved the way for the amazing creator-owned self-published books that we have today. So Rob Liefeld is a very important figure in this industry, and Prophet is a part of that legacy. All right. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And check us out over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support the channel. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Station, y'all. Prophet number 1, y'all. Prophet number 1. What'd you think? Let me know what you thought. Now, here's something that I wasn't going to do. I've done a third one of these. Sledhead says, I'm glad you're reading it so I don't have to. Oh, Fable, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Everybody, yes, 70 likes. Can we get... Let's see. I'm showing 71. Can we get 80 tonight? That would be great. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. So my third one that I did was a modern comic, because I want to do modern comics too. And I wasn't planning on sharing it. I just did it. I actually did it the same time I did these two, Marvel Comics Presents and Prophet, but my battery was dying in my camera, so I rushed through the last 5 minutes of it, and I didn't like it, so I redid it last night. And it's not even loaded up. Do y'all want to see it? Let me know if you want to see it. Do y'all want to see my third top-down? Now, these are going to be released on the video separately, but y'all are getting the first. You like the Robbie voice effects? Well, thank you. And I'll get better. Like, I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a little bit like... I'm saying nuance too much. I'm saying texture too much. It's no different than the weekly comic book review. I want to get more into a laid-back style with it is what I want to do. And so I think I did that a little bit maybe with the next one. But if you guys want to see, yeah, Mary wants to see it. Well, fuck, Mary. You've done so much for me. We'll make that happen. All right. So the only way I produce myself. So the only way I can make this happen is to make this look seem... It's going to be weird for a second. Okay? But I'll drop it because we went over our super chat shit tonight. So I think y'all deserve it. I really want to see what y'all think. So this is going to be weird because I got to add it into something. So just bear with me here. And it's going to give it away. So I'll go ahead and give it away. It's Transformers #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson. Transformers #1. So here we go. Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to talk about Prophet #1 from Extreme Studios. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. All right. I think you already saw the beginning of it, but here we go. I'm giving you the third one. Here we go. I love y'all. Super chats are welcome. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be talking about Transformers #1 from Daniel Warren Johnson. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be talking about this Transformers #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson. Now, you know that I've been super hype about this book ever since it first... All right, real quick. You notice already what's happened. I've realized how much my hands are in the frame, and I'm going for it. Sorry, we're going to start that whole thing over again. Just, the hands are more prevalent in this one. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be talking about Transformers #1 from Daniel Warren Johnson. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups, and today we're going to be talking about this Transformers #1 by Daniel Warren Johnson. Now, you know that I've been super hype about this book ever since it first released. It was at near the top of my best of 2023 list. It has made picks of the week multiple times. I keep telling everybody that this is what comics generating excitement looks like. This is a book that's been bringing people back into my shop that have been lapsed readers. This, along with other things like the Ultimate books from Marvel right now, even the Conan the Barbarian books, but the Energon universe kind of started this surge of people getting interested into comics again. The word of mouth that spread. So what is it about this issue in particular? Because technically, the Energon universe starts with Void Rivals, the Robert Kirkman book, right? But it's really Transformers by Daniel Warren Johnson that set everything up. And it was the perfect storm. It's the perfect storm of a property that is familiar to people. A lot of people know Transformers, but that is never necessarily meant that equals high sales on a Transformers book. This is by far the most we have ever sold of a Transformers book. I ordered so heavy on issue #1. We are now completely sold out. And that's why it's needed to have more printings, because this stuff keeps selling out. And that's not just some BS like Diamond sold out or Lunar sold out or something like that. Legitimately, comic shops have been sold out of this book, even those that have ordered extra heavy. So this book is amazing, and you have that perfect storm of a familiar property that doesn't necessarily always equate sales success, but Daniel Warren Johnson, that's the factor right there. Plus its image, plus its skybound, Robert Kirkman. So this is what happens when you take a fan favorite and a much loved franchise and you put creators on that book that actually care, not just about the property, but about making dope comics. And that's what Daniel Warren Johnson does. And it kicks us off with a very iconic cover, a heroic image of Optimus Prime, but it also shows the vulnerability of Optimus Prime. He's been knocked down, but the one thing about a hero is he keeps getting up to do what's right. And that's what Optimus Prime is doing in this cover, and that's what they're letting us know. This book, to me, Transformers #1, structurally and impact-wise, reminds me a lot of Jim Lee's X-Men #1, right? Because that was a property that was familiar to people. It was also a popular cartoon. There was a lot of hype building up, and it was a new jumping on point, and it was the same X-Men that most people remembered, but done just a little bit differently. And that's what this is. So let's crack it open, and let's take a look. So this is, of course, written and illustrated by Daniel Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer on the coloring, Russ Wooten on the lettering, and the first page really sets everything up. Now that the entire first arc, the first 6 issues are complete, we see how important this first page is. And I don't want to spoil anything about the 6th issue or anything like that, but what I do want to point out is that first and foremost, this is a book about the effects of war on soldiers and society, right? So we kick it off with these brief images that are giving us little bits of information that we need. War. War on Earth, war in space. Death on Earth, death in space. And then we see this rocket, and then Dad wake up. And then we're introduced to Sparky and Spike. Now, one thing that I really got to applaud Daniel Warren Johnson for is I have never, even though I am a huge Transformers fan, I have never cared about the human characters. I've never cared about Spike. I've never cared about Sparky. I've never cared about any of them. Whether it's in the TV show, whether it's in the movies, or whether it's in the comics, I have never cared about these human characters. But from the first issue, I care so much about these characters. Now, it does start off maybe a little tropey. We've seen this kind of dynamic before. Alcoholic dad. There's a family tragedy in the past. In this case, it's the death of Spike's brother, who was an astronaut. That's what we're seeing right here, is the astronaut space shuttle exploding, and that's what we're seeing on that first page, is the shuttle launching. So we're seeing Sparky's past, we're seeing Optimus's experience, their similarities in war, and then the tragedy that befalls Sparky and Spike. So we've seen this kind of dynamic before, and while they're talking, Spike's trying to find his dad. This dude right here is trying to claim that he saw a fighter jet that was like shaped like a box come down, right? Now we know that that's going to be Jetfire, who will appear in this issue, and that whole thing was set up from Void Rivals #1. Maybe one day we'll crack that open. But Spike finds Sparky. He's at the bar. He's been at the bar all day long, even though he's got to go to work. So we're seeing that he's not in a good place. He notices that Spike has got his telescope with him. He's like, "What are you doing with your brother's telescope?" He's like, "Yeah, we're looking at the stars, you know, doing this kind of stuff reminds me of him." He's like, "Why would you want to remember? It's best to forget all of that." And then they have a little bit of a tiff, and then this dude Davey shows up to bring Sparky to work, and that's when you're like, "Bro, you've been drinking all day, and now you gotta go work the night shift?" Trust me, booze for breakfast, this dude's in a bad spot, right? So Spike is following him out. He's like, yo, I'm just kind of concerned. He's like, "Eventually you're gonna have to grow up, Spike." Spike's like, "What, and be like you?" Dude, that's a solid burn, right? But you can see that look on the face. Now, Daniel Warren Johnson, he's known for these big, explosive, dynamic, and kinetic books with lots of motion and energy and movement, right? But he's also able to give us the nuance of human emotion. He's able to explore the human experience in a very profound and provocative way that's also exciting and engaging to readers. All right, then we're introduced to Carly. She's a newer character, right? She is Spike's buddy, and she's got this awesome van that she's been airbrushing. She's got like a dragon and a barbarian and a castle and a wizard. And in my head, I like to think that Daniel Warren Johnson has this van and he himself has airbrushed all this cool gnarly fantasy stuff on it. Anyway, we can see that she saw everything that happened and she's kind of feeling for Spike, and they're going off. to go to the top of this mountain to stargaze and to look at the full moon. They're having a conversation about the fact that Spike wants to be an astronaut just like his brother, but that's obviously not going to sit well with his dad. He's afraid to tell his dad that. And so they have a nice little touching moment. Then a big earthquake cracks the mountain. They fall down, somehow survive, and they're going to see something. But before we turn this page, really want to highlight the coloring. I do think Mike Spicer's a great colorist. I think his work on this run is really good. There are moments where it does get maybe a little bit too orangey, but he never has a problem separating the backgrounds from the foregrounds. But I love this page. It's that thing that we were talking about a few videos ago, right? Blue and purple and pink. I just love that whole kind of vibe and aesthetic. So they fall into this mountain and they discover the Ark. So this is the spaceship that brings the Transformers to Earth, and they see it, they go into it, and then they find a room with all of these inert Transformer bodies. There's Optimus Prime, there's Starscream, there's Soundwave, Skywarp, Bumblebee, I think that's Wheeljack back there, Ratchet right there, right? So we see all this. Now, one criticism, slight, that I do have is I don't think that these two big splashes work side by side. I feel like the page turn to this is dope. This probably should have been a double page spread so we could see more of the width of the Ark. Now, I do know that Daniel Warren Johnson initially did this with just 3 thrusters on the back, but he was then told by Hasbro, who didn't ask him to change too much, but they were very adamant that the Ark has 5 thrusters, so he had to go in and change that. But then it kind of almost undercuts this, and this would have been a great page turn too. Maybe another page, maybe a double page spread, I think would have really fit that, and then you come to this. But, you know, regardless, it's still pretty solid. So all these Transformer bodies are laying around, and then they see Jetfire. Jetfire's there. Now, Jetfire showed up at the in the middle of Void Rivals, woke up, was like, oh my goodness, I've been asleep for centuries. I gotta go. I gotta find my people. I gotta find the Cybertronians, who we know as the Transformers. So he's there using what little energon he has to reactivate the Transformers. To do that, he has to reactivate the computer, which is Teletran 1, and Teletran 1 is going to reawaken these Transformers, infuse them with energy, and give them new forms so that their alt modes are appropriate to the world of Earth, right? This is straight from the cartoon, from the first episode of More Than Meets the Eye. So that's what's going on here, but unfortunately, the first person who gets reawakened is Starscream. So that's a great shot right there. Now, excuse me, I love how Daniel Warren Johnson draws the Transformers. He draws them, so a lot of Transformers artists throughout the history of the Transformers, they draw them very blocky because they're blocky characters, but sometimes they feel stiff and they don't feel like they have a lot of fluidity of movement. You get the sense that they have that fluidity of movement with Daniel Warren Johnson's work, especially once you see them in motion. They feel very organic. They got that organic quality. So Starscream opens up, and so I was on that conference call, the retailer conference call with Daniel Warren Johnson, Robert Kirkman. They revealed what happened on this next page to us. We were sworn to secrecy, and I'm proud of all the retailers for not spoiling it, because what a crazy moment this is. But they wanted us to know that even though certain things would be familiar, this is not the Transformers that you've seen before. So we turn that page, and the first thing Starscream does is blow the face off of Bumblebee. Daniel Warren Johnson, Robert Kirkman said that they thought Bumblebee had been overdone, and they wanted to focus on other characters. They wanted to start small. They didn't want to start with all these things. Hasbro said, go for it. They kill Bumblebee in the first few pages. I mean, that's it. He's dead. He may come back years down the road, but right now, they swear they don't have a plan to do that. Jetfire's like, yo, what are you freaking doing? Luckily, Teletran 1 is about to wake up what we see here. That looks like Optimus Prime. So Jetfire's trying to stop Starscream. He's like, what are you talking about, bro? We've been at war forever. Do you not even know what's going on? He's like, stop, this is madness. And Starscream says, exactly, and blows the gut right out of Jetfire. So already lots of death, lots of destruction, lots of crazy things. He points out this the sigil of the Autobots, and he says, this symbol is a marking of true evil. We must be vigilant in wiping it out. And then this awesome spread right here. Look at the manga influence. Look at the motion lines. Look at the wrestling influence. Look at the clothesline. Look at the composition. angular, making us feel the impact. Even as a spread, this works so freaking well, right? Jagged, rough, dynamic, cutting, if you know what I'm saying. So, Optimus Prime clotheslines Starscream, starts talking some smack, then he suplexes Starscream, and then he sees Spike and Carly. He's like, he has no idea what these things are, and then all of a sudden, smelting Autobot, Starscream starts attacking, but other people are starting to awaken, including Ratchet, who drops in a giant kick straight to Starscream. Here's something I'm talking about right here. Look at the fluid motion and the bending of the shape of Starscream right there. It absolutely gives an organic quality that inspires the sense of kinetic charged energy that's like making these pages feel, right? We as the reader can feel the impact of that. And then all the lettering. So Russ Wooten is the lettering, and he does a great job because self-admittedly, Daniel Warren Johnson doesn't leave a lot of room for Russ to work with, but he works with it just fine. But all the sound effects, those are mostly done by Daniel Warren Johnson, and they really freaking work. They're all different. They don't look straight from a computer. They are hand-drawn, but they are colored. There's a scratchiness to them, a scratchy texture that I absolutely love in every single one of them. So then, Ratchet saves the day, but there we go. Skywarp awakens. He starts firing. And then Soundwave is being brought closer to Teletron 1 because Starscream is realizing that Teletran 1's picking random Transformers to reawaken. So he wants to get all of the Decepticons first so that they have that advantage. And that's what's going on here. Optimus Prime locates the fact that he's got a trailer. He's like, in this form, I should have a trailer. Can we get my people in that trailer? Ratchet is assigned that task. He goes to try to get his gun on his way. And once again, just great perspective and the motion lines, the speed lines, everything with the perspective to bring our eyes into here and feel that intensity of the moment. And then right here, Daniel Warren Johnson is so good at the rhythm of storytelling. We got Soundwave awakening and firing on Optimus Prime as we see Ratchet putting the bodies of their fallen soldiers into the trailer. But I want you to see, look at the jilted movement of Soundwave. And then look here. He awakens, he targets, he fires, he hits. Then there's the reaction. This is a great page to explain this rhythm. In this rhythm, you see, right? You can feel like the jilted kind of thing, right? And then, bing, extermination protocol active. I wish I could do the Soundwave voice. Then he targets, boom, boom, Optimus. And then Optimus is still alive, but his eyes widen and he sees Bumblebee. I was not expecting Transformers #1 to have so much tragedy, to have so much emotion. Now, I've read Daniel Warren Johnson before. I'm familiar with Murder Falcon. We know Do a Powerbomb. We know that this is what Daniel Warren Johnson does. I just wasn't expecting him to do it on Transformers. It blows my mind. So he's like, Bumblebee. Oh no. Oh no. Spike is noticing. This dude is a good guy. He's feeling what's going on. He is feeling his loss. The reason why we were given the information so early about his brother is so that this moment works. Then Starscream shows up. Once again, some of that nice splattery looking lettering right there. Great use of that pink magenta behind there. And here's what I'm saying. Sometimes it is a little bit orange, but it's meant to be because it gives us the intensity of the heat of that moment, of that shot. And these other panels, they're a little bit crisper, a little bit clearer, and I think it works so well because of that. So the coloring is great. Some more excellent lettering right there. Grapple. This one could track like the tape cassette coming out of Soundwave, and I love that it's still a cassette, right? So he's like, Soundwave, help me. Can't get to his gun, Optimus. And then out comes the tape, and I love that like 80s kind of style effect. Ravage comes out. Optimus is still trying to grab it. Spike runs to help. Carly helps him. What a great moment right here where we can see their small figures pushing this gun to Optimus. So he blows the shit out of Ravage right there. But now we're seeing the nuance of who these characters are on the other side. Soundwave is affected by the near slaughter of Ravage right there. And we're shown that these are not just robots without emotions. These are not just beings without feelings. They're not just cold. Not even the Decepticons are just cold. Well, maybe some of them are, right? Okay, he knocks Starscream off of him. Skywarp smashes his leg down. Optimus rolls out of the way, but there we got Thundercracker and Reflector about to be joining the fray. Optimus cannot allow that, so he says, "I'm sorry, Teletron. We are outnumbered and outgunned. I have no choice." What a great sense of the despair that Optimus is feeling in that motion, in that face, and the power of that blast, blowing up the computer, messing up Starscream's plans. Optimus, we're loaded up in, whoa, nice heroic shot of him cradling and holding our human characters and running out of this giant smoke bath, this giant fire, this giant explosion, I should say. A smoke bath, a fire. It's an explosion, Robbie. He's running out of it. The power is too low, but they got to transform and run away. So there we are in mid-transformation. I love how Daniel Warren Johnson, he doesn't just cheat and show us like the before and the after. He shows them all in mid-transformation, which is actually pretty freaking cool, in my opinion. Then we get this interesting side page. Probably would have been cool as a double page spread, but it also works cool just tilting it like that. You see that sense of movement, of speed, of energy, right? So there, now we're in a chase scene, right? And they're about to drive off a cliff, and there they are driving off the cliff. And once again, the rhythm. Oh my good, that's a cliff. We're driving off a boom, silent. Ah, bam, perfect, just a perfect rhythm to this storytelling, right? So they're running, then all of a sudden Starscream, Skywarp, they show up, they're firing at him. They're trying to get away. Great chase scene. Jetfire wakes up, realizes what's going on, transforms and blasts off. And another thing about the rhythm and what he's doing, even though we got three little pieces right here, he's transforming, he's about to finish transforming into his jet, he's off. We ourselves fill in these gaps, and to us it goes boom! We feel that, and it flows on that page like that. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So Jetfire takes over, or he comes in and starts firing, hits Starscream, and then they fire at him. They hit him pretty bad. He starts going down. Skywarp is running out of energy, so Starscream realizes that they're going to have to let him go, and I love this. Grah! Sleep with one eye open, Optimus. I am coming for you. All right, so then we got Spike has taken them to this quarry that him and his brother used to go to sneak out and just mess around with abandoned equipment. Optimus untransforms, detransforms, and sees Jetfire, who's gravely injured. He attempts to try to save him with his with the Allspark, and this is something that, one thing about this whole first arc is maybe this Allspark does get utilized a lot, but it gets utilized in interesting ways, and you'll find out more as the series goes. But Ratchet, who is like the medic of the Autobots, he says the Matrix can heal, but it can't stop the inevitable. And there's this sad moment with Jetfire. Just listen to this. He's like, Prime, I swear I did not know. Centuries of searching for healing for our home and nothing. Has anything changed? Is there any hope, Prime? And Prime's like, I do not know. I have failed in my mission. Cybertron will die. Everything will die. This dude dies defeated. Jetfire dies defeated. How sad. How tragic. How poignant, right? Then we cut to the Decepticons, because that's where we're going to leave Optimus, like, really had a rough day. Optimus Prime had a really rough day. The Decepticons had a little bit of a better day. Soundwave's talking about how they have to fix the computer to reawaken the other Decepticons, and including Ravage, because Ravage is messed up, and look how much, I mean, that's a dude who cares about his pet. And that's why I love Soundwave so much. But they're all looking at like, hey, we got to find these other power sources. And Soundwave tells them, I have found places that have energy that we could convert to Energon and rebuild this computer, reawaken our army. And he's like, why are you looking at me? He's like, it's up to you. You know, you have the most energy. You have the most supply. You've got to go do this. It's what do not say his name. I am the leader of the Decepticons now. Oh, have you realized there's no Megatron yet? The mystery of where is Megatron is something that does get revealed, and it's really setting up something special. All right, now we're cutting to wherever Sparky and his buddy Davey works. Turns out they work at a power station. So Davey's about to confront Sparky about how he's basically screwing up his life, drinking too much. He needs to be there to support Spike. They have a little bit of an argument, but then all of a sudden, Starscream's outside just wrecking this power station, and this is what they're going to use to convert into Energon. They're trying to run away. Starscream notices them, and here's our grand finale here for the first issue. He sees Davy. "Are you the creatures that live in this place? So fragile, so squishy, so pathetic." And he kills Davy, who we find out has ties to Carly. We'll find out more about that as this series goes. A nice little back matter essay by Daniel Warren Johnson talking about his passion for this project and a story about how he lost the hands to his Optimus Prime figure when he was a kid. But that's it. Deadly ending, death, tragedy, all of that all the way through. What a fantastic book. To me, this is just great comics. It's exciting, it's dynamic, it's filled with so much drama. It doesn't have any comedy yet. The comedy is coming, but it's got the action. It's got that sense of adventure. It's got the sci-fi complexity, and it's taking something familiar and doing something different with it, but at the same time familiar and exciting. I absolutely love this book. I know that a lot of people can't get into it because they're like, I'm not really into Transformers. And I know people that have read the book that aren't Transformers fans that do like it. Or they're like a tiny little bit, like they're familiar with the Transformers and they get into it. Then other people just don't get into it. And that's fine. To me, this is a pitch perfect comic. This is how you do an issue number 1. This is how you get people excited. And I have seen my initial sales continue to grow on this book. And the sub list keeps growing. The hype is real, y'all. And if you weren't sold on it yet, I just went through the whole book to let you know why I think this book is so awesome. Amazing artwork that is generating so much intensity, and that intensity also comes across on an emotional level. And that's not something I expect out of a Transformers book, but now a high bar has been set, and I do. So anyway, that's Transformers. What are you thinking about the run? Let me know in the comments down below. Excuse me. But anyway, thank you so much for checking out the video. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and join us over at patreon.com/PCP if you want to help support this channel. Thanks for rocking with us, Station. And that's it. Those are the first 3. I hope you like them. Should I put them out? From the comments, I'm gauging that I should. All right, now we're going into show and tell. So I'm very close to completing my Sunman Masters of the Universe related action figure line. Here is my Hypno. And I got to give a big shout out to Mike the Voice Matthews for helping me out with these. There's my Duplisso. The only white dude in the whole thing. That's awesome, though. The whole point is for this to be a diverse alternative or a series that goes along with Masters of the Universe, if that makes sense. But I just got my Boltman, too. And that was one that was really hard to get for a while. All right. We just talked about Transformers. But I'm not just pleased with the Daniel Warren Johnson stuff. I want to go to the old school 80s stuff. So I can't get a Transformers number 1 and 2. I just don't have access to them. I would love to. But I did get this, which is a early Marvel trade paperback, which collects Transformers number 1 through 3. And yes, we're going to top down the shit out of those, y'all. 100%. But I want to go ahead and collect the whole run. So I'm going for low grade, but I did get an issue number 3. And I got an issue number 4. And I got an issue number 5. Iconic Shockwave cover. And I got an issue number 6. So, we will be going through this old school Transformers shit too, y'all. That's my plan. We're going to release them. That was show and tell. And now it's time for your Final 5. We're going through the Marvel Masterpieces by Joe Jusko. There's Captain America. What a great fucking card right there. Luke Cage, who was in the midst of his Mike Tyson-esque revival at the time. Y'all remember that Cage book? Some good shit. We should cover that. Maybe top down, bottoms up. I think that's a good name for this series. Top downs, bottoms up. Anyway, there's Cable. Here's Bullseye. That's a great card. The shadow of the figure getting got. And then Dazzler. So out of these 5, my favorite is this Captain America. Out of the first 5, my favorite was that Daredevil. So out of all of these, my favorite is this Captain America. Now, my favorite last week was the Black Panther, I believe. This takes precedence. Right now, this is my favorite Marvel Masterpieces. We'll continue that look as we go along here on your official Final 5. All right, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed those early sneak peeks. I plan on filming more this week at some point, and we'll share them next time on Rockin Robbie Live. Anyway, no post-credits tonight. Nobody get overexcited. Don't wait till the very, very end. We love you. It's not happening tonight. Trust me, I'm not fucking lying. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's show. I enjoyed the response to my videos, and I am very excited to do them. But now I gotta go make some spaghetti. So, we are dipping out. Love you. Pop, pop, boom. Station. Keep on reading, loving, and living. Y'all are the best. Catch you next time.